I'm really excited to see John QT in the new role as well here. We've got a pistol right out of the gate, and Sentinels looking, or YFP rather, looking to get into mid early.
Sen, with the composition changed, you have players set up to clear some space back into mid here. But that Sova Dart and the knife from the KO as well to retake that space.
Sentinels had the option to actually looking to fight him in. They go for that flash. Paranoia too ends up hitting. Curry is on a warpath. He's not slowing down. That's the first one for him. A couple more to follow, but YFP hold their own 2 for 2.
Still, outside of A, Redux has walked up, taking a lot of space, and Penny was not ready. That's an advantage gain towards Sen, and they are ready on this B site as well. Zelsis forward on the line, finds a dink. Both players damaged on the other side. Connection onto one, and the swing in. It's a clutch for Zelsis to tie up the pistol round in favor of Sen. His teammates were alive, but he was the guy doing it all.
And that was just excellent macro from Sentinels, right? They go for that fight into mid, and after the dust settles, they're creeping up in both A main and B main. Those forward players end up getting the kill. Of course, wouldn't be possible without Redux, I think, forcing them over into Zelsis' crosshair, which isn't a good look for most people, and certainly a good one for Zelsis.
I think it is cool to see on that pistol that despite this composition change, they still have similar ideas. They kind of became known for their retakes, their set re-clear ideas when they were playing that Breach Sova comp that YFP themselves are now picking up, and still doing that here with this new idea.
Seeing Redux get that Paranoia involved after the forward posting on A2. He's looking very nice. This time around, though, Sentinels playing more strongly for the mains, but after seeing the stack of YFP, using the shock darts to clear away into A, they do take a step back and double up back towards elbow. YFP are now going to move into mid, hoping there won't be that same fight into them this time around.
Cypher camera was still posted up here. So Curry will know that this is at least smoked off, and they'll send the drone to reply.
It's a massive buy this round from Sentinels too, going down to just about nothing on most players.
Drone just missing on the players mid there.
Good little flash peek there, see if there was anything going on, but John's on way too passive an angle. Now a B split on the cards, but this judge is gonna go crazy.
Redux, first one, all but free. Second player ready to come through that smoke, and the judge won't find it. The ghost good enough. Lovely from Redux to clean this anti-eco up with a flawless.
What do you prefer, the 1800 gun or the 500 pistol?
The 500 is pretty good.
Yeah, I take the pistol personally. Sentinels coming very clean out of that round as well. Again, the buy was pretty strong there, so they're not going to have rifles really going into this one, I don't believe, but still some fighting chances if they can get that judge into a nice position. You can actually see that Redux picks up the Marshal, traded over to him. Zekin now with the judge.
And Zelsis one off that null command, getting these ults online early for Sentinels.
That could be big in a post plant. Looks like Thief throws a forward cam into A main, spots out one player before being broken down, and now YFP heating up into the area. But all we're trying to do is bait for Zekin to stay tucked in that corner with the judge.
KO Knife just cleared out all of B main, so Sen very suspicious of something towards this A site.
Here comes a Paranoia too.
Zekin escapes though. Good slide from him. He wants to re-engage.
He's back in there.
They just cleared this with a nade.
Oh, they're running. They don't want any piece of that. They don't know it's the judge necessarily. They saw the Omen who had it last round and wasn't shooting at them with it, so.
Drone shouldn't see anything here in A main. So now Sen, suspicious of something going on in mid, and YFP have grouped in that area, is actually off of Thief's walk-up. They could go back into A.
This could be bad. We're winding down the clock, 40 seconds. Zelsis has the null command. Zekin is sending it. Okay, 1 for 1's good enough.
He got the info too. Player spotted. Sen knows that this one will end towards A. 30 seconds. Redux swings in. Lovely shot onto the first. Penny will manage to trade out, but John is still on this site, tucked in towards Slant. He has to end this round, and Jake has shut him down with 3 kills.
Jake showing up in a big way right there. That round was slipping away. The null command had come in, but Jake is there for it.
A lot of Sen fans here, but still a chant for YFP. How many here are supporting YFP? And now let's hear from Sen City.
See, I saw one guy in a Sentinels jersey stand up twice, and that is a flag on the play.
Love of the game.
Here for Valorant. We love to see that too. Now heading into this round, pretty deep setup from Sentinels. 2 players actually stacking on the B site, but deep trips as well. Sentinels are going to try to hold on here very strongly. And there could be a fast rotate in from Zekin as well. They're going to have 3 players ready to fight. YFP, wise, I think, to start slipping on out of B main.
They don't have much control across the rest of this map, just that cam in mid.
But just last round, they showed walking out of A main and then going right back into it. Trying to mix it up this time around and actually go for a real rotate around. Sentinels, sticky feet for the most part, still have 2 players over towards the A sites, not getting baited out by this at all.
Right here. Revealing area. Right here.
YFP will clear into elbow, spots out 1 player in Redux, Paranoid on the push back in, and Sentinels have the space yet again.
A couple times now, Redux has gone for that paranoia pretty deep into the round, 50 seconds, stalling out those A hits. It's effective now, and YFP are forced to accelerate over back into B, where there's 3 players waiting for them.
And the Cypher, still set up on this site, 30 seconds. YFP have to commit to a decision. This fight could be everything. Penny gets it. The Vandal, they're better than Redux.
Wait, though, for John QT. There's kill up in mid from Thief. John is the one to save the round for Sen. If they can work it back in, the first one's there. Celsius with another, and he can't quite find the second. The site now belongs to YFP, but Curry and crew are still on the hunt.
Curry stunned up, a pause in the action as Thief still plays forward here. Now a teammate to support, but swing in for Curry. 1 for 1. So Celsius, a clutch demanded of him, and he's just not clearing this angle. Jumps straight into his death as YFP even the score.
That's a big opener here from Penny. If Penny falls, this round is cooked. They had no options. They couldn't exec into the B site. Penny was way in front of the rest of his team over towards A. Everyone kind of wandering around out in mid, but YFP's duelist, when they need to show up, is exactly there for them. Big kill for Penny.
Half-hour armor will allow Sentinels to still have some guns for this round.
They're going for a refight. Paranoia in on the side, but now YFP a bit conditioned for it. Sentinels really extending for that one. And see how quick YFP are to seize control over mid, maybe.
Yeah, every round now they've pulled out that Paranoia and had good reactions off of it. For it broken, and that's market secured for YFP. Sen have to play back a little bit here, lean into the retake towards B.
They're choosing for retake and for market control. They want to regain control of that area. Already in the smoke now with flashes ready to go, and they're getting them. First one for Penny, but Celsius now has market and they can pinch back into the site.
So market secured. And a stun into the back site second.
Whoa,
on the
moving.
slide. He's gonna go again on this one, but the spam is better out of Physic, and YFP maintained advantage in the post plant. Now the new kid, along with Celsius, trying to hold on to this round, but YFP not really giving anything away here. Walk in, and the hold just too good from YFP, now taking the lead of this map.
Very nicely done. Resetting after losing market control, holding their ground and focusing on Boba. A lot of teams will just play off site into B main, but instead they choose to play forward, get those kills all the way up into it. Flip the map just a little bit.
So a timeout called here for Sentinels after losing 3 on the trot. Sen recently announced that they're sticking to Kaplan, extending his contract quite a bit further as the leader of this team. For you fans from Seattle, Kaplan is too.
Oh, Kaplan, my Kaplan.
Came to this city the first time 3 years ago. He's the guy who sent me all the recommendations, so you saw the tweets from him. He's excited to be back to get to play a LAN in front of a crowd here in Seattle. And he'll have a chat with the team now.
I've already had some good coffee. Had a crazy bagel the other day. Big fan.
Yeah?
I'm liking it. I'm
Saw
liking
some
it here
cool
so
legs.
far. It's a shame it's only one day.
Yeah.
Wish I could stick around a little bit longer.
So Sen trying to make an adjustment here. Thus far, I think their setup has been figured out. Every round, YFP is baiting out this re-clear into main and finding the right site in these late rounds. Some, honestly, really nice post-line setups to win. Sen is, I think, yet to get a retake across the line.
Yeah, I think apart from the pistol, Sentinels have played pretty heavily for a lobby control. Even though the last couple of rounds they've had players on the B site, they're fighting forward in a lobby. So I would not be surprised to see either this round or the next that to shift a little bit, whether that's a return to refighting into mid in the mid rounds or more aggressive setup over towards B. I think once they get rifles in hands, that playstyle will change just a bit.
Same paranoia, this time it's a little silly. Second, he's got a Bucky. And he slides physics straight out of this round. That's 2 up for Sen.
That's great. Or they could just do that A-main fight again with no guns and it'll just work this time.
Yeah, a little bit better, and I think Second just robbed him blind there. Jumps away with a Vandal.
They're still hunting. They want to get that second gun. Oh, and they also see the spike, of course.
Yep.
The thing is, if Penny gets a kill, even if it's a spam through smoke, he's got a satchel and he'd have ultimate. And this round could quickly slip away if those rifles fall out of Sentinel's hands. And meanwhile, in mid, Thief pushed all the way up. Could have a chance to backstab.
Curry cautious of this, but can he hold the right line? Here comes the fight in for YFP. Stun up. Zells is damaged, but the counter utility good enough to keep them at bay. Now, Penny active. That's 3 sprayed down. And Thief on this lurk is into the site. Finds one, snaps for the second. And YFP really navigate their way out of a jam there.
That's just crazy. I mean, Penny finding the meltdown there. 3 kills out of the 4 stacked in front of him. Again, not much of a buy, but that's a round where Sentinel's like, you have it. After this, Spike stuck out in the open. The result not even necessary. It's that flash right there. Actually, even, it looks like Sentinel's players turned to the flash. Not that it even mattered. Just stopped the crosshair placement for a moment, but yeah, that was nice at the end there from Thief as well.
4 rounds uncontested from YFP. But Sentinel will have 4 of their ultimates online here. I think the null command, the most important of that one. Big tool for a retake later in this round.
Sentinel saw 2 in A main with that knife. Still playing forward on A. But I think they should be mindful that a few times now YFP have tried to fish up into top mid for a kill or for a flank, something like this. They have those 2 bodies on that side of the map early, but some cheating from Zelsis over towards that A side of the map if a refight's going to come down. But I think they just heard the audio of that Cypher trip being placed down, and instantly they're rotating out of the A site. As soon as you hear that, a good tell that it's going to be a B hit coming in.
But they're going to stay set up for retake here. I think just trusting in that null command to get back in and not wanting to mess with that Raze rocket, as Penny will take site uncontested and will not find a target for his rocket.
Again, YFP playing very far forward. Paranoia into spawn, they're going for it. Pushed back by the wall, Jake running back into B main. They're gonna play the post plant, but there's a lot of time to work with.
No command, Hunter's Fury. That'll find the kill just far enough away to avoid the radius of that null command. Zekin though, already forward, gets a kill onto Thief, and now it comes down to the game of spam. Zelsis wins the first one. Reflect denied by Curry. That's thorough by Sentinels. And Redux there to lock it up. A lovely retake to break the streak.
That was really nice. Again, that's the expected play in B main in a post plant. And Sentinels deal with it beautifully. The one-way smoke on the left side of Sign, getting involved there with Redux, even being aware of that reflank coming in with the plant position. That reminds me of how good Sentinels can be on this map.
It's been a banner map from Zelsis thus far, having some big moments for this team in rounds that matter. Really, I think the rock for them when they're making these roster changes, bringing in new players. He's that guy who's going to make people feel welcome on a new stage. And I think keep Sentinels having that same identity they did last year.
Yeah, generational hype man for the team.
He is. Generational salesman.
Yeah. Oh, yo, I'm telling you, Redux is looking sick out there.
My ult is ready.
Straight up take the duel, win it out. Lovely from him. There.
We might be seeing a refight into mid here, but actually with the smoke from YFP going down, they're going to drone through that on the Sentinel side, clear that out. Don't see much in mid. YFP have not many great options here unless VCT can get into the B site. He knows there's the trip, and now it's broken. Players are being pulled, but Sentinels already have a big stack into that B site.
But is that where YFP want to finish? They still have a player back towards A main, and they're going to keep this pressure on B. Sen just set up to play retake.
Yeah, they have been loving just flooding out from Boba. Gotten to this position many times on the B retakes, but YFP have called around it nicely. They're back and forth now going into the A site that Sentinels have all but abandoned.
40 seconds. Back towards A. Jake to hold the rotation. Redux.
Oh
the man's a monster this map.
30 seconds left.
His debut with Sentinels, and he is playing like this.
You might see the oxygen tag next to his name. It's just to remind you that this guy's the king of the offseason.
Yeah, won Ludwig Tarek last year. Looking to do the same with the first of this year.
The second most important tournament.
Paranoia, Redux. Could be on for the ace here. That's 4. 1 left. Stun missed. Second. They make a win, and Redux gets the ace.
Welcome to Sentinels. Redux showing up in a big way here on the stage. Wow. The ace early on, too. You could just feel it a little bit. The energy coming back for Sentinels. Remembering what it's like. Now with new faces, new players on the team, but still showing up in a massive way. I mean, I think he's getting stunned by his own teammate here.
Yep.
Like, he's still getting the kill. Doesn't matter. Just click the head.
Last year when he won that off-season tournament, a duelist then, now slotting into the Omen for Sentinels.
Big pivot this round. Omen and Market for Paranoia. Sentinels, they love to fight forward, and they're going for it. Paranoia, they do slip back. Counter util stalling them out. The Deltas will get this orb, and then try to clear out of the space. So much util, and YFP are sending it. They're going in, finding these players, but a good smoke out from the Neon stalls it out completely.
But no one ever got into the site. Despite the kitchen sink being thrown in, it's only 1 off the shock.
Off of a shock dart.
Okay.
Thief really wants a corpse.
He's not gonna get one, I fear.
That's tough. Same. Let's take a breather, everyone. That was a lot in about 10 seconds.
But Redux wants more. He's walked through and found a despicable timing.
Man of the hour.
5 players waiting. No utility to watch him. How many can Redux claim?
Oh no.
Discipline on the first now, takes his shot. And now smokes himself off. A camera watching, he'll escape. And ult all the way back home. That ties this round 4 apiece.
The smooth criminal, look at that, gets the kill. Now YFP, they're boxed in with 15 seconds. They've got to go for it. TPing into the corner, it has fallen 2 pieces. Redux and Second destroy YFP in this round. They want a little bit more, but there's no time left. Sentinels are going to take the lead.
The timing Redux found is insane. The second player stopped watching the flank, he walks up. And I mean, Sen, I think thus far playing some really good defensive mid-rounds. Are constantly in the right spot to flood back in with the Neon and that initiator utility to win these rounds.
They're finding these holes and pushing up on the sides in a really nice way. I think Redux actually would have waited longer, but I think he saw B-Dog charging up the stun, and if he can kill the breach before the stun comes out, there's no sight hit. Otherwise, he's looking at 4 or 5 heads there.
Yeah, that beginning of that round too, credit to the counter utility from Sentinels. That was a rolling thunder. That was everything from YFP. And they completely nullified that hit as YFP now will take their first time out of the match.
And this is coming immediately after Sentinels change their macro strategy, right? Like, Sentinels have been playing A lobby every round of this app up until the last one, right? And they see Redux reposition into market. That means a B main fight. What it looks like to me is wherever Redux is, he's not necessarily the one taking the first fight, but he is the cue for where Sentinels are wanting to put that forward aggression on their map and really using his paranoias to set up a lot of those fights they're taking.
I think especially a big game for that man on your screen. That's just talking about it. Jake, after missing out on making his way back into Tier 1 in Ascension, now qualifying to this event in the off-season to try and find his way back up.
And they had gone on a bit of a tear. 4 rounds in a row. Now have been down in the last 3, a half buy coming in for them. But not an impossible one. We saw Penny earlier in the game find some critical openers that saved rounds for YFP, honestly. And he's the one man with a Vandal.
Same paranoia for Redux.
Oh, but it's a bit of a fake, though, because you can see that we're already repositioning Zekin, maybe looking for a mid-refight off of what YFP would usually do, which is after that paranoia comes in, they walk into mid. So Sentinels in the timeout, I think, coming up with that idea. YFP, though, not biting on it.
They'll instead just hit right back into A.
1 HP.
Beef damaged in mid there.
How'd that happen?
I think just getting a dink out of someone. Redux caught fishing a little too far there.
That's the thing. That's a gun out in the open. Smokes make it possible to retrieve. The one way a little bit finicky, and actually Zekin has crept up into the corner here. If he falls, this could fall apart. As a matter of fact, it is revealed. He runs into the wall and goes down. Physic has the kill. The site now open up. Apart from Zelsis hiding back into CT. He gets the one, keeps his team in the game with John returning it. It is all chaos all the time here. B-Dog doesn't have a gun out. 2-on-2 now.
And both players on YFP so low. 44 health across the two of them. Tag on to Curry. He's just gonna stick the removal of that dart. Thief on the jiggle. Penny the man of the hour. No one is watching. And Curry, too much to do. The crossfire good enough to break the streak for YFP.
Maybe the first piece of damage that round was going on to Thief, taking him down to 1 HP, and he wins the round on 1 HP as the sole survivor. That is wild. Taking that time to get the trade, because I mean, that's a hard one to go for. It could be very easy for Curry realistically to spin around and hit a shot anywhere.
Yeah. Tough one to win.
But he goes for it instead of playing for time. That's the right call there.
Zekin buying an operator on this round. Big change up for Sen.
He's in B main too, so showing the Vandal there initially, hinting that, hey, that's usually how Curry's played on this side of the map with the Cypher. Surely there's not an op around it.
And also showing a KO flash over towards A, making YFP again think that this is the same Neon reclear setup in that area.
It's always been Neon, KO, and Omen. Still 3 players fighting on that side, but John QT, and showing the dart there too, signals a massive stack on that side of the map. YFP probably thinking maybe Omen Cypher on that side, and they're gonna be going straight into Curry playing back into Boba.
The round gets weird. John just runs through a smoke. So now Curry has to do it all. He's damaged, blinded, running away, trying to get help, but Penny denies it.
Meanwhile in B main, the op is still there. Zekin still has a chance to turn the round in his favor. He knows a player's hiding there, and it's a bad jump throw.
In mid, B-Dog has to hold this down. Damage dealt. He'll find one. Does he re-engage or tuck away? To fight in, Penny takes down Zelsis, and now Zekin left alone. He started the round with the op.
He's here.
He's got to end it with his rifle.
How does he have a Phantom now?
He's walked all the way around, and he finds his free kill. Slide ready to go, but Physic has a shot in his head.
YFP sticking in it, blow for blow. What you'd expect from a team that's been together for so long, qualified into this event, fighting on through into it. The addition of B-Dog seeming easy for this team so far. The slight advantage just now. Now change in tempo. It's been so much, you know, that slower play into mid, but not Satchel, and we're going actually over into lane. No kill to be found, and Redux is there. He's there every single time. 4-1, and maybe a little bit more. No, he goes down, but Zelsis there for the trade.
Sen ready to flood retake here. Zekin on the first. He's just running them down. Second kill found. Physic alone on the lurk. And Zekin isn't going to stop anytime soon. Overdrive in play. The player spotted out, and John QT ends the half 6-6.
This is a fun start. Bit fiery.
Switching sides.
Streaky initially, now back and forth each round. cannot get over how well Redux is playing, though. This is a crazy game one on Sen.
A really great start for YFP. 6-6 here for the underdogs to try and take down Sentinels. We'll see how Sunset ends when we come back. As close as it could be as we head into the second half of Sunset between Sentinels and YFP.
First look at the new Sen roster on attack here. See what they'll get doing if they can keep this performance for Redux going. I mean, 13 kills in the first 12 rounds is not too shabby.
Pretty sick. John QT was known for how good his lurks were on this map, on that attacking side, back when he was playing the Cypher for this team. Now making a role change for this event, playing on the Initiator instead.
He can just be calm, you know?
Always
be the solo,
flanking?
be the flanker.
Okay.
Do it all. IGL too, why not?
Maybe play with the team a little.
Yeah, you know.
We'll see.
Could do a little bit of everything, truly. But they've got just a few more seconds before getting into this next half here. I think, honestly, pleasantly surprised, again, by what we've seen from YFP. They won a really good tear. I think a lot of the slower rounds got scary for me watching, but at the same time, they found openings. And a lot of those situations keep them in it. Now on the defense side of things, 3 players into market. They've got options to fight back into mid, very similarly to what Sen did in their pistol.
But Sen going instead towards B. Still potential for a flood retake from YFP. Once they hear this execute coming through, smokes in, Sentinels out on the site. And YFP are moving into this one quickly. Spam is good though. Redux keeps his roll going as it's an opener for Sentinels, and the spike to come down. Next layer of utility coming in for YFP. Shock dart, aftershock, another stall on the plan, another flash for a fight, but it's Sen finding the kills again. Now up by 2, as YFP have kept themselves locked out of this site. And now just have to hope they can break these crossfires as Penny will eventually find one. It is a lockout for Sen. 40 HP. Physic on the swing. Will get an opener. That's a chance for YFP, and Penny makes it doable. Double swing, though, too good from Sentinels. The teamwork keeps him in it. And now in a 1v2, Zelsis will lock things up for Sentinels' second pistol.
And what does he get it done with? Jump and right click with the Sen Classic. You gotta love that. Honestly, I like the choice from Sentinels. It looked like initially they wanted to play off-site, but then once they got that first kill, they said, we have the numbers advantage. We can actually lock down a couple of these chokes now. It's going to be pretty tough to get back in. So even when they lost players, they still had a couple of tag teams ready to fight forward. That's really what got them back in the advantage once they lost a couple of players.
Yeah, they did such a good job being ready for those flood retakes to come out. No matter how many times they tapped, they were ready to fight. And the team play wins it out here.
Now on the attack-winning pistol, they go for the FPX buy, so just the 3 rifles here. And letting Zekin get a little bit creative, peeking into top mid. Didn't send any flashes to support it, I don't think, and B main is down. That's a problem.
Curious. That's a little better for Sen, though. Zekin gets 1 on the slide. And a second as well.
It's not a problem.
Never stop moving.
No.
Never stop
Just keep going. Why not? More people will keep showing up on your screen, and you keep getting kills. It's like in that that video we watched, right? Where Ludwig was helping out Zeppa, and they learned the trick was to just keep running, and you'll win all your rounds. I forget.
I learned that you should buy the judge. That's my learning from that.
It's an important thing to remember.
Good conversion, though, for Sentinels to get an advantage out of that half.
With that buy, it lets them go rifles into this next round. Sentinels can keep this streak going. YFP right now, both agents with line control fighting into A main. The Breach Stun, the Omen Paranoia. But it's hard for them to actually fight that much off of it unless they get Penny involved. Rotating on over. That early pressure is enough to make Penny shift, but Sentinels are quickly moving into B.
The Neon is so good at drawing out that utility. Stun, Paranoia both gone, and into B they'll go. Only Cypher to hold here.
Yeah, and you have 20 seconds before Breach Stun's going to be back online. Time to get active and get into the site. It is working, and nobody's home, Mimi.
That is a great KO knife. Cypher trips go down. They'll all be broken. Sentinels have control of backside as well. So YFP have to make a retake happen here. Even numbers. And those recharges coming online soon, but the stall is just good from Sen thus far. Stun in, 1 way up. Physic does take down Zekin, and Redux will fall as well. So YFP in advantage. But here comes Sunset. Spam from main. 2 players ready to do it, and a dart online. There is a danger here yet for YFP. No one yet to even tap that spike. Physic will. So a fight forced out from Curry. Physic off it. Not half thus far. Spam coming in, but Curry damaged, and the stick is being held. YFP clean up on the retake to convert the anti-bonus.
That was very nice. I mean, a drone tag spots the initial player playing very up from Sentinels. And then, even though there was some good counter Utah, I think the pacing of what YFP was throwing out, right? The Breach Stun. Then it's another flash coming in. Sentinels had to move and get out of that corner, and YFP just mowed down a couple of players. It was very nice from them, keeping them invested in it in a pretty much very important round to win. They would have been ecoed had they lost that one. And it's interesting to see YFP now a couple of rounds already on defense with 1-4 stacks. They had 4 players A main immediately at the start of the round. Now have repoed over into top mid, and they're ready to spot Zekin if he creeps through this one.
Paranoia through and off that Neon wall. Zekin's gonna go all the way around the world straight into the shot of Physic. On the other side, Sen has made their way towards Market, and might have a gap. Can he steal this round away? Through he goes. John QT's dead! That spray transfer is disgusting. Paranoia in as well. Zels is still doing work, but it's Thief to win the round with 4.
Yeah, that was gnarly from Thief. I love that. I mean, first of all, his position playing back in Boba, sort of anticipating that split attack into the B site from top mid and Market. And then a spray transfer. Ooh.
Goes here.
Nasty. So Sen take a timeout off of losing 2 in a row.
Was that an uh-oh? I'd be saying uh-oh too if I saw this. Oh, Lord.
You really can't doubt the mechanics of these YFP players. I think really proving that against a team that hasn't had a ton of time to practice with the roster they're playing here, the gap between a tier 1 and tier 2 team is not that big.
It's been pretty close. I mean, the first series of the day, the games weren't super close, but we went to 3 maps.
Sure.
And so far, this one is just
What's
about
more
neck and neck.
Cloud9 than getting stomped on map 1 and then dominate
That actually
the
is
rest of the
so
series.
classic Cloud9. It's
That was
funny how
them
you can
all
change
year.
the parts, but it's still the same thing. It's like if you
Ship of
change
Theseus?
every plank out on a ship, every single piece, is it still the same ship?
I wonder if anybody's ever had a name for that.
I don't know. It's called Cloud9.
So Kaplan will get his chat for the second time with the team.
You know what I would be saying if I was Kaplan? I'd be like, Zelsis, I've not seen you standing up nearly enough today. And that seems to be a big problem in our overall game plan. Could you please get those legs moving?
Maybe that's why you're not Sentinels coach.
I mean, he's got very good posture, but he's just sitting down.
Yeah.
The chair is just too comfy.
He's waiting for the moment.
Maybe this will be it.
It is an eco round for Sen, though.
They're sending it.
It won an eco round in the first half doing just this. It was all about second then. Can he do it again here? No one receiving him on the site. Instead, YFP set up for another retake.
They could stall out the retake too with the null command. If YFP wait too long, they can send this.
Hunter's Fury into the site. That's damage done, no kill
Nice
to
juke.
be found. But waiting here means that Zekin's ult is going to come offline, and soon he'll just be a man with a classic.
Oh, double flanks running into each other. Thief gets the first one, and he chooses to keep going forward.
Zealous is on the site. Stinger could be a bother here for YFP. No, Penny deals with it. 4-2. And with an advantage, they'll just run their way past
that guy
the
go?
sprinting Zekin and win themselves a round.
Nicely done there. Sentinels didn't want to spend too much into that.
I'm really impressed with the discipline from YFP. I feel like even when Sen is trying to get chaotic in these moments, taking some risks, they're doing a really good job of killing the one player, resetting the round, and still playing to their fundamentals.
Yeah, they're really playing to like a numbers advantage most of the time too. You can see they're giving up the A site almost completely after that early util, knowing that it's an anti-eco for them. They're choosing to fight very aggressively around 3 or 4 players a lot of the time, and it means there's not a lot of chances for Sentinels to squeak rounds out that they shouldn't be winning.
And as funny as it is, they are probably the team this tournament with the most practice as a 5. So that coordination could be their strength.
Again, YFP, like, who's on the B site? No one. But that's okay, because they want to play the retake anyways. Penny's got the rocket.
But Sen have the null commands. They'll take their free site, but the question, as you're mentioning, comes to this retake, and Penny is actually charging on in. No rocket to work with just yet, thanks to the suppression from that null command, and now a bit of trouble in paradise as it's a flash in from Zeus as they are pressing their advantage as he runs down 2, and Sentinels just take over in this round. Only Jake left with no shot in hell.
This is cool to see, because like, not a lot of people consistently look for those Boba fights, or actually fighting it out on site. It's so easy, it's very boring, but it's so easy to just play that spam game from main.
Sure.
And every round Sentinels have played, the first look they've gone for is to play forward. After then, sometimes they've fallen back. This time they're fighting super aggressively in. And the util there was beautiful. From the nade on the floor from Zelsis, the stun of Zekin to make sure no one can trade out Penny, who's trying to run away from the nade on the floor. That guy's dead. There's no way he's getting out of that one.
I think it's all about the Z's. Zelsis having some really good utility on that one, and I think Zekin's so willing to take those kind of proactive fights, even seeing how their utility intertwines. Stun one side, nade the other, to stagger the players back with that CC so they can't swing as Zelsis is flashing and isolating the other. It's really well put together from that duo.
No surprise that the guys that have been playing together for quite a while are looking real nice with those combos.
So Sen take back a bit of control in this half.
I mean, if YFP are going to make a shift, maybe fight for the site? Ah, they will. Penny might even actually set up some kind of a trap play with the showstopper. See him playing back on the site early. They want to show maybe the Sova over here, the Cypher as well, and then the Raze can creep in. Dodging away from the dart too. That dart specifically there to make sure no one's playing close. But YFP, they're still getting kills. The rocket is coming into. There's more and more and more for YFP, but Sentinels are not going to be silenced. A couple of kills coming on and in. Thief goes down too, and the site's opened up for Sen.
The showstopper was everything that round, and it's ripped away. Rolling Thunder. Curry sent flying sky high, but B-Dog doesn't push off of it. Paranoia, Flash, they all miss. Curry has a chance, but the jump is better. And now the IGL has a 1v2 and a minute to work with.
And what does he have? A dart, that could be useful. Drone, hard in a 1v2. Couple of shocks and the ultimate. But if he uses anything, he reveals exactly where he's going to be. He's going to get this plant down pretty much no matter what, but then you're very likely going to see him fighting up into spawn against YFP. Down in numbers, very often you need to seize that initiative for yourself.
The 100 is strong in a clutch, but he needs to get a kill first.
And he leaves it open for all 4 positions for him to play realistically in the post plant.
The first fight of this clutch will make it or break it for John QT.
Oh, here's 1. Here's 2.
He knows all. But he doesn't choose to wrap around. Instead, heads straight back towards the site and gets ready on an angle. Swing in, but the spam not coming through. Dart forward, B-Dog holding onto that spike. He needs to shut this down. B-Dog's just sticking it! And John cannot stop him. YFP, the first to double digits.
B-Dog sucked in a little bit there, dodging away from the bullets. That was nice. And literally the reason YFP win that round, the jump peaks right there coming in at the
twice
end.
from Jake.
Yeah, it's so nice setting up for his teammate to come in, breaking that crosshair placement, because I'm telling you what, like, Sentinels are winning that round if there's not a jump there. He was absolutely ready for it.
I love the tech too. He's like jumping before he gets around the corner and then crouching, making himself as small as possible, and the coordination just paying off.
Crazy how together Sentinels were swinging forward in that fight in B main too, even with a rocket coming down at them.
Yeah.
Their spacing was perfect.
Almost worked out. Second taking space in mid. And Penny holding the angle. Utility in hand, a jiggle from both sides, but the paranoia misses. He can see everything, and Second will die.
That's a nice juke, getting out of range of that one. Sentinels have control of the B site again. YFP in the post plants, a bit hit or miss, but now with the numbers advantage, they're gonna go all out from Boba.
Darting to the back site. A jiggle for Redux will deal some damage, and a reflank on its way. Ult back towards main. The spam has to buy time for this flank, and Celsius stays alive. That's big. Now he'll reset. Back towards mid as the fight focuses into main. Smoke up. Physic trying to get something off this spam as opponents have to do just the same. Spike tapped again. Damage shot onto YFP, and time is just getting so low here.
He's in! He's behind him! Jake! That's 2 for him! Redux left all alone now, and onto the spike goes YFP. It's another one.
How's he done that?
He goes all the way into the corner. No one's looking at him. It's way too loud for Sentinels to hear a thing.
A robbery again from YFP.
Anyone have any splints?
And they were baiting for centuries. I mean, 5, 6, 7 fake taps on that spike, pulling out as many bullets as possible, hoping someone's gonna come through the smoke. And then when they don't, well, Jake takes some matters into his own hands.
Again, YFP is just so disciplined in those moments. No one's committing on their own. They wait, they make their play, and win out such a crucial round. And this one is the breaking point for Sen. They are putting all their money behind it.
There's a 4-stack here, but if Celsius pops the ult, YFP are gonna be fighting without abilities.
Does he use the null command? Not yet. To suppress Paranoia back in, they're suspicious of a stack and they reset into mid. As Zekin gets spotted by the drone.
I feel like Sen have realized it's these heavy stacks 4-1.
They're just sending it.
They know B-side is open like 9 out of 10 rounds.
That 1-for-1 not going to be good enough. Celsius will get revived, so that's an advantage towards Sentinels. Just missing the spam. He'll live with 20 HP.
YFP's retake, though, is very different this time. Coming in heavy from market, Sentinels sticking 2 players on site, 2 currently watching flank with options for a rewrap. Redux, though, if he gets 1, this could just lock in the round for Sentinels. Good stun returned, though, by Celsius. And now they're fighting back into it. Redux is looking for a little bit more. Smoke going down now, fighting back into Boba. YFP on top for now. And as the players try to slither away, Sentinels are boxed back into main.
Time is going quite far. YFP have to make another miracle if they want to win this round. B-Dog, he's found 2! All 3 kills! The man is a monster, a new addition to this squad to clutch things out for the underdog.
It's my favorite caster call of all time for a reason. B-Dog's got that dog in a Mimi. He's farming there. YFP on top right now. Now onto map point.
That's just outrageous. It's almost the same round twice in a row. The heroes of B main for YFP.
Sentinels grasping for straws a little bit.
I'm out of here. Switch it up, just for fun.
Zels has been having a phenomenal game. I mean, 25 kills. No one else up to the 20 mark yet.
I'm out of here.
They've got to put 3 more together now. And it's a different setup for YFP. Heavier lean onto the Cypher side of the map. More passive angles onto the A side. They don't really like giving a lot of information over to Sentinels. And it's hard for John to see through these setups for what they are.
YFP back in control of B main. And that's a Hunter's Fury online for them.
Wow, B-Dog's all the way up here. Breaks the tripwire. It's a lot of pressure now onto Sentinel's flank.
Second makes a lot of noise in mid, but always plan to go back into this A site. 2 players waiting from YFP. And an off angle for Penny. He's above this smoke. He's got the angle, but can't find a kill just yet. Damage done. Nade in. That'll zone this team apart from one another. Sentinels on the site, though. Have to get this plant down soon. 30 seconds left.
YFP are waiting on this flank to come in from
left.
Thief. Last time it was an A plant, Thief got the stab in the back. This time around, YFP activating on the left side. Zelsis flash to try and stall out while they creep forward on both sides. Sentinels looking to get into the face of YFP, and YFP are stepping on them.
Here comes the flank. They were waiting for him. Thief now active. Swing forward, finds his. It's all on the new edition in a 1v2, and he cannot get it done. YFP take map number 1 against Sen City.
They just ran away with it at the end there. From the Thief pop-offs to B-Dog and B-Main. Really shocking stuff. It was dead even at the half split.
And just some incredible moments from this squad. I think individually with those clutches at the end, but across the board, so disciplined, so much good synergy from these guys. I mean, really looking like a complete unit.
Yeah, I mean, they were leaning so heavily into their retakes. They had a very clear plan of how they wanted things to go on defense. And then when things started getting a little bit suspect, Sentinel started fighting into them. They kept coming up with new plans to get around that, changing up their setups a little bit and constantly keeping Sentinels guessing as to where they were.
Well, YFP, they steal one away from Sentinels, taking their map pick of Sunset to start the series. We'll see how this one ends and who finds their way into the grand finals when we return.
I don't think you would, but...
Well, but we will, baby Bay. We are coming back. Welcome back for the Red Bull Homeground NA qualifiers. We're here to break it all down for you. That was something we mostly did not expect, unless you're one of the two YFP fans in the audience.
I heard a chant. I heard a YFP chant.
An actual chant.
Yeah.
By
I
more
mean,
than one person.
Yeah. I was thoroughly impressed. I don't know who's out there, but the YFP fans are rolling deep.
They are. They're rolling so deep. Yeah, well, but rightfully so. I mean, this was an incredible performance. Like, from start to finish, this was a very competitive map. And I think YFP showed us exactly the same tenacity and the same depth they have as a roster and as individual players that we've seen already during the qualifiers. This was such a good team effort from them.
And I think you're absolutely right. It was the team effort that kind of got them over the finish line. This clip that we're watching from Penny is a perfect example. They had set up second really well into the beginning of the round with the 2K. I thought the round was done, and then Penny just shows up, and then Thief closes it out. Again, it was these individual moments from this team that I think were so impressive. Penny had big moments, Thief had big moments. It was by committee, it really was.
Yeah, and you see his damage per round, 190.8. And that was with him not even sitting at the top of the scoreboard. Yeah. So he was doing massive amounts of damage with his nade, with his, obviously his shots and etc. He was like middle of the pack, but to still have the most damage in the entire server is very impressive.
I mean, in general, the entire team, like the fundamentals were so there and on full display. Such nice protocols we got to see like almost every round from them. They had a very good read on Sentinels.
I was very impressed specifically with their game plan with Thief. Thief kept finding the gaps on the attacking side, kept flanking around. He got so much value. I mean, yeah, this one, obviously, this is a comeback from a 3v5. But yeah, the 1v1s that he was winning on top of it all, like he really had a lot of impact just based off his positioning alone that allowed YFP to secure this map win.
And again, it was what we were talking about earlier with Penny. I mean, everybody stepped up. Everyone had their big moment. We're probably not going to see what, but Jake is the other player I wanted to talk about until I just got trolled by production.
You got so excited about it, too.
I did.
Like,
I was pumped up.
Man.
he hit this like crazy TP and B main behind them on a retake. Like he was not playing passively. They played with a little bit of swagger to him, to be honest, a little chip on their shoulder. And I think when you don't have to beat a team like Sentinels with one star and everyone else supporting them, it's so much easier. So when you have Penny having big moments, when you have B-Dog having big moments, when you have Jake doing things like that, that's YFP at their strength. And that's what it takes to take a team down like Sentinels. Yes, they're playing with two stand-ins, whatever. The stand-ins went nuts.
And also Physic. He actually went 5-2 in first kills, first deaths as Sova. That is so impressive as the IGL to be able to win those initial engagements. It's something that we tend to think about John QT, specifically when he is on that Sentinel role. Now, obviously in this game, he was on the Sova, maybe still getting adjusted to things, maybe getting just even warmed up on the stage. But very impressive showing from Physic. You see it right there, 17-13 as an IGL playing Sova on a map like this map, Sunset.
But we also have to talk about the other side here. I mean, quite frankly, Redux had a phenomenal game. Like, he did not want to lose this one. And it's just so impressive for him to come into this and just pull ahead like that.
His ace, the first ace of this tournament.
The crowd went wild for that one too. That was a beauty.
Because it was insane, exactly. His shots, his mechanics, we know, are so insane, especially on that duelist role, but here to do it on Omen and kind of try to fill in the shoes of TenZ. I mean, I think he did a pretty good job for his first time.
I mean, with him here. How often do you think about the TenZ TP up on box in market? That was such an insane 3K, and you're right, Redux stepped into that role exceptionally well. Ultimately, Sentinels weren't able to walk away with the dub, but I was really interested to see. Again, Redux had an exceptional map. I was really interested to see how they were going to use this comp to set up second. Because again, we saw how effective a breach can be in setting up their duelists, especially on a map like Sunset. And we thought, well, maybe with the KO, it's going to be a little bit tougher, you know, things like that. But there were a couple of plays that we saw that were designed to set second up. So I do think that's still part of their plan. It'll be interesting to see how they continue to lean into that going into the rest of the series.
Yeah, and just to nitpick a little bit on that composition that they ran on Sunset with the double initiator KO Sova, that's a comp that is so hard to run correctly. Your executes have to be flawless. Your protocols have to be flawless. That's a comp that we've seen Heretics basically master and show off to everybody else. EDG ended up picking it up, winning in the grand final of champs. But if you're not perfect on that composition,
it's hard.
It's very hard to make it work. And I think we saw that struggle in Zekin's performance stats-wise, because he did have a lot of fights where there wasn't the right set of util at the right timing there for him.
And again, I do think there were things they were showing that suggested that they have been drilling this, and there are some really cool ideas that they have. I think about if it wasn't for Penny's 3K and then Thieves 2K at the end of that round, that was a really cool setup. They had a KO flash over the top, they had a Paranoia flash out towards A main, and then they had Zekin dashing in with the Bucky. Like, they put the game in his hands. It just, you're right, it feels like some of the execution of the comp itself left a little bit to be desired.
Yeah. That round would have changed the entire game as well. If they go right there, I mean, we might not be talking about YFP winning this map.
Yeah, it's probably an 8-4 half.
It comes down to nitty-gritty stuff like that. It's nuts.
It's nuts. Final words.
Valorant.
The closer. Yeah, I mean, but, you know, Sentinels and those players, they're not a team that will, like, have that linger in the back of their heads. I'm pretty sure they're good to just start on a clean slate heading into this next map, and the individuals will show up and perform.
Yeah, if there's anything about Sentinels that we know, it's that they like to take the hard route every single time. I mean, we saw that at Champs. We saw that throughout the year.
Poor Sentinels fans, man.
Yeah.
Or Rob.
Them and Cloud9 need to have a competition for who drops the first map the most and then reverse sweeps. You know? Now, I'm not saying they're going to do it, but I'm saying they're going to do it.
I do, again, maybe a little copium, whatever.
You can mix the two, it's fine.
For Sen City, sitting out here, maybe trying to figure out what the heck just went wrong. Sentinels they had this like low point on Sunset throughout this past year as well. You remember at the beginning of the year, you called it earlier.
Dominant.
Their split and their Sunset were both nutty. And then something happened. And they continued to struggle on both of those maps, but if memory serves me correctly, Sunset in particular became a weakness of theirs that wasn't one before. And so, I mean, this is a really good opportunity. This tournament is to kind of try to refine whatever it was that was going wrong on those maps so that it becomes a strength once more. And it seems like they still haven't fully figured it out. That's not to take away from what YFP just did, because they looked really freaking good.
I mean, one could argue that Sen took a risk, of course, running a composition that we've not really seen with new players in the mix as well.
Sure.
So, you know, that is role swaps, exactly. So that's a big argument one could make in their favor. However, we're now heading on to Lotus, all right? That was YFP's pick. It's by far their very best map, but Sentinels, no slouches on that one either.
Yeah, but like, YFP, you give a team like this confidence. Like, this is what I love about tournaments, is anything can really happen in a tournament setting. If you have just the right moment of time. Look at EDG's run at Champs.
Yep.
I mean, nobody was thinking EDG after their performance in Shanghai. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
so
nobody would have expected that, yeah.
This is what is so great about tournaments, is even the underdog can make a run for it and become a champion. And how poetic would it be for a tier 2 team like YFP to make it all the way to Berlin and face up against some crazy competition? Basically, probably mostly VCT teams. That is the most unique thing ever, because you don't really get to see tier 2 teams against tier 1 teams much at all, especially at an international level.
And we're seeing here Sentinels running with the old and trusted that we've seen a lot from them on Lotus. Now YFP though, they're switching things up a little bit there with Penny and the Neon.
Yeah, a nice breach comp. B-Dog, he looked really good with supporting utility. Yeah, keep in mind, Penny was on the Raze in the last map, but with the Neon, he's going to have to be on top of it even more, because if you even make a micro mistake with your utility, your Neon gets punished, you can go down. But, I mean, they've looked really good on that last map. They looked very composed as well.
Yeah, and I think the idea is the same. You're right, it's a different duelist, but B-Dog's job is the same, is to set up Penny, put him in position for success. And I think on the other side of the coin, they're not going to have the same ability with Zekin. I think a lot of the information and the utility that they're going to have is a bit more passive, less about setting him up, but Zekin has to find success.
And how deep is YFP's playbook with this breach and Neon composition? Because it can be very obvious, like we stated in the first series that we casted, that it can be obvious what your setup is, especially on the defensive side. So you need to like do certain weird things, like throw a Neon stun at A, now you run all the way back to C, and do like these weird conditioning mechanisms in order to set yourself up for success on the harder half of this map, which is the defensive side.
Indeed, and now everything on the line for Sentinels. We're playing a best of 3. It's a single elimination, a bracket. If they lose this map, they will go home. So I'm sure the crowd got their back, sending them some good vibes and some good energy as we're heading into this one. So please, Mimi and Ender, take it away.
Thanks very much, Zoe. Yes, Sentinels up against the wall here, trying to recover against a YFP who looked real good on the first map, and now have a chance to play this Neon comp into a Killjoy instead of that Cypher.
Yeah, it turns out YFP are the world, taking it by storm at the very least. But yeah, I like that you bring that up because a lot of times Neon can be a little bit unfun on this map when the enemy team is picking the Cypher. Your team has to be really diligent clearing away those tripwires, but because of the choice of Sentinels and what they're making, there's some options now for Penny to actually sneak past all of that Killjoy utility on the site with the speed.
Seattle, we're about to hop into map number 2, and I want to hear it. If you want Sen to come back and take us 3, make some noise. I think they want a third map.
Yeah, let's see if Sentinels will deliver. YFP getting active, taking control over mound space early on, even showing some util front B as well. That might make Sentinels a little bit scared, but they're holding their ground, activating those 2 players over into the A main space, where there's a lot of ground for them to be able to cover uncontested. The high camera you can see on center site does peer on a pixel angle out into that grass area. But so far, just a paranoia pulled away from Jake, and that's about the best utility YFP have going for them in this round.
So YFP, with the players still posted deep on C, we'll have to wait for Sentinels to reset in this round.
Interesting, the YFP are basically islanding C and A now currently, with everyone moving back over into the center of the map, and they're ready for this attack to come in. Door about to be opened on the opposite side. Sentinels are forced away. And where do they actually go? Zelsis was able to work up over into Switch on A, but there's still a Cypher here, and a pretty quick rotate from Jake.
30 seconds to get the spike down, and that Cypher utility from Thief could still cause trouble. They'll post forward on the site and isolate a duel against the IGL. Curry's not looking for Jake, and YFP take over on the map. 15 seconds and try to fight back in. Celsius falls, and Penny on the cleanup will convert the pistol.
That was lovely. I mean, YFP were completely aware of everything Sentinels tried to do in that round. They showed that opening fight over into C, then pulled over into A, seeing Sentinels move that way, back into B, reading them there, and A at the end. I mean, that was 4 or 5 different reads they had up against John.
And well, it's the read that really got them through. I think we saw one of the big strengths of that Neon, how fast you can rotate. That Neon player started towards C, was back towards B, then finished towards A, and was always in the right position for Penny to be fighting with his team. This time, Sen, a bit more of a simple plan, just head their way towards the C side and might be able to get a spike down here.
Camera sees a whole bit of the crew there, but YFP trying to flood out of this smoke, and they're through.
Okay.
Redux gets the kill, gets the Singer, and he's going in! Look at him go! Sentinels find a couple of kills. They're not out of the woodwork yet. Penny with a 3K. YFP get another.
Nasty from Penny. 5-0 to start this map. He's got to be feeling confident playing into the crowd a little bit himself.
That was a throwaway round for Sentinels. They just wanted to get on the site and plant the spike.
And that map 1 YFP win, it's all the more impressive because they did it without winning a pistol.
Yeah.
Now they have one here on Lotus.
Penny getting so many kills early on. That's 5 kills in the first 2 rounds. Really sets you up in terms of getting a save-in on him in the next couple of rounds, even if you are to drop a rifle. Next round, he's going to have those zappy hands ready to go.
Very well. As B-Dog gets pushed away by some utility, and Sentinels in this round just keep things slow as they'll group towards that C site.
Let's see if John can call a masterclass game from the initiator role. Showed a lot of util up at the B early on. Now dealing with that Cypher util is the name of the game for them. Spamming away from that. And they did actually get that trip all the way in the back of site, so Thief's got nothing left. That doesn't mean Sentinels have to attack in early, though. In just the first 30 seconds, they dealt with that util, so they've got a lot of time to work with still.
Penny is posted forward on A here, and he's on a bit of an island. Util to clear him out, but he dodges it. A gap for Penny to work with, and a paranoia to support him. He'll only get one. But Jake is going to push forward for more, and that may have been a mistake. Sen claimed the advantage, up one member as a lurk heads into B.
Celsius has that backstab, and it doesn't even matter. It just actually means he has the site, because Sentinels, they're looking to plant over on the B site.
Turn it down. 30 seconds left.
YFP, those two players fighting in A were the only ones with real weapons to go with, so we're trying to see if they can come up with anything. Just didn't happen at the end of the day, and keep in mind, Zekin now gets that ultimate 4-round 4. This 4th round could be very explosive, because when both these duelists have ults to play with, even from the start of the round, it's very important to seize control over one of the mains early.
And thanks to some early kills, Zekin is going to have that Raze ult online for round 4 here. Chance to try and snowball that momentum, as oftentimes happens on the attack of this map.
Let's not forget that the first map for Sentinels was dominated by Zelsis and Redux, especially in that first half. Definitely some of the lurking players have some options to make big plays, but if Zekin can get out of the gate strongly here, set the tone nicely for this attacking side. Forward camera placed by Thief. And he hasn't actually clicked into it yet. Satchel in, we are full sending it into the site. Spam through the wall, and Zekin can't get anything done. We're TPing on the top of the side as well. YFP's hold is perfect.
Sen will scatter for the hills, try and find some inroads back towards B, but guess who's here? Penny trying to lock things down, and Physic there to help as well. It's just a lockout defense. One left standing, and he'll fall to a flawless 3rd round to YFP.
Wow. Now, I was saying the Cypher trips could be annoying for a Neon, but right there, Zekin felt the hurt off of that. No one on his team was able to actually see the trips, I don't think, to shoot and break them because of all the smokes that were funneled into C main. He gets spammed with about 20 million bullets through this wall and being stunned. I mean, he's trying his best to juke away, but the entire time, wall hacks just drilled onto him. Not much a man can do.
Hero gun brought up for Zekin here. The only weapon to speak of for Sentinels. Maybe Redux doesn't need a gun.
You forgot about Redux's Sheriff. Zekin actually falling. Curry now the next challenger to pick that one up. And it looks like they might just leave Redux hanging out here. But Spike still stuck in A main. But Sentinels, they remember from the last round that Cypher camera being placed in Mound. If they don't deal with that camera, it's very easy for YFP to stack heavily onto the right side of the map.
Even if Sen can't win this round, they can set themselves up for success with ults. John QT 3 away from the Nightfall. Zells this one off that lockdown. Big tools.
They can also just feel better about themselves if they get a few kills with the Sheriffs.
Yeah.
Redux getting himself back in there already. The thing is, if Redux gets a kill over here, even if he's just waiting for players to rotate into the B or C site, he could ult reposition and join up with his team. It'd be a big swing if he finds something.
Does he want to get that
30
gun?
seconds left.
He's at least
He TPs to pretend like he's going for it, and now they split into the B site, but even B might be a fake out. Not really a fake out. If Physic is just getting that opening kill, unfortunately, and as the clock dwindles down desperately into 15 seconds, YFB are unmatched. Physic with 4, Physic with 5, the ace for the initiator.
out of nowhere for that man to harvest up some eco frags. And I mean, what a round to build confidence for YFP. I wonder when Sen are going to take a pause at this point. That was just an anti-eco. But a loss on this rifle round means things are really starting to get dangerous, and it's actually now that they're taking the pause.
Get out of Kaplan's head, Mimi. How are you in there? It just doesn't make sense. Read them like a book, but wow.
They were just losing rounds.
Yeah, you know, it does make some amount of sense. You lose 4 of the first 5 on a attack Lotus. Something's going wrong. What I'm thinking about right now for Sentinels is that so far the Cypher setups they've seen have been very heavy towards A and towards C on those extremities. I'm not sure if they've done so much scouting into B early on. Is there a gap there? That it's been a heaven-held line every single time, not necessarily a tripwire down there. So poking into that area after you deal with that forward camera into mound could be something they look for.
Early round two, I think they have struggled to get control towards A lobby when they're playing against the Neon. The threat of that stun and the push up off of it. The Neon with the breach almost always going to be winning that fight.
Yeah.
Means they have to play these slower mid rounds, re-clearing late into A if they want to take that space.
Yeah, the only round they won actually was them going for that re-clear. But it was the bonus, of course. We'll say, oh, we're into it. Speaking of A lobby, YFP seized control of that immediately. And the answer for Sentinels is just to accelerate into C. Very similar to that Sunset performance of YFP's defense, where they just completely abandoned one side of the map is here. They're going to look to play full-on retake. I think they're actually hoping to bait out a lockdown and then go for this flank to pinch into it.
The flank is instantaneous. And they're still watching it, but Penny just beheads Curry.
And now you have a lockdown in a post plant. If they need it, you're never going to need that, though. Penny into the site, dealt with immediately. Sentinels send the lockdown as well. And that, well, it doesn't even get broken. Sentinels, 4 players survive, and YFP are going to have to run out and probably give up on this round.
I think that's the first time we've seen YFP get a little bit scrambled. Trying to make some plays toward the end of that round after the flank fell apart.
It was the game of chicken there where, oh, you're going to use lockdowns. We're not even going to play on one side of the map anyways. We'll just heavy fight you on the other. But Sentinels don't even use it. I like that. Clever little wrinkle in the game plan. A much needed win after that cap timeout.
Not as much damage as B-Dog might have hoped for.
I've never heard a crowd go so crazy for a 1-for-1 after the round's over.
Good for him.
You know what? Taking every kill we can get right now.
Is it we now?
We.
Okay.
I just want to be on the team, Mimi. Let me be on the team.
It's not my decision. You can go talk to Rob.
He was just, where is that guy?
He had his food up here earlier.
Somewhere. Sentinels, I like this though. Refighting into it. Oh, someone needs to break that. Not when the stun is there, and no! Redux is down.
That's the danger of going into A against a setup like this one. Just that haunt not being broken, and now Sentinels will scramble back towards the C site here. Trip broken. Sentinels in, Curry on the opener. Thief will reply, and he'll dance around this cage, just stay alive in the back side of the site.
YFP on the way into the switch, opening that up and fighting back into the IGL. It's a big swing, and Physic is there. But now into backside, Curry holds his own. Shoulder to shoulder with Zelsis. But more and more of them keep falling in. It's 1 HP on Curry. And he turns, but it's not enough. Jake gets the round for YFP.
5-2 on defensive Lotus. Suffice it to say, this game is starting to slip for Sentinels.
I wonder if, because right here, the stun ends up just destroying Sentinels. I wonder if in the last A main fight, they maybe didn't use the stun off the rep.
Thought it would just be the
and then they thought we can get
off.
out here quickly, yeah, but you can't TP in there if the rest of your team is instantly going to be stunned with no options of a trade or a beer break, anything like this.
They'll try it again. This time, Odin span to support, and they'll ford that river and get a player embedded.
It's a big value out of the Sheriff shot, just breaking the camera into Mound, but Sentinels very clearly want to keep playing into this A space.
They might just be sending it. Nightfall committed. Paranoia, Jake is not blind. He's found a gap and gets one. Might need a little bit more because Second is making damage on this site. Jake can't hear a thing. Nade in his face, and he cannot get another. That's a 3v2 post plant now for Sen.
Oh, B-Dog was trying to get that ult orb the last possible second. Now he'll need a kill. Thief 2 down into the site, masking the drop there.
But he's not checking behind him, and the whole player has made this one weird. Thief walks deep in, spots out one. Can't find the second as Zekin spins around and closes that one out. B-Dog alone. 1v2. Molly on the spike. Zekin shows through the smoke. Now the ult available, but time almost gone. Flash in. B-Dog cannot do a thing. Curry's bought enough, and he's won the round for Sen.
A very important moment in that round for Sentinels. Curry finishes it off there with the mollies, but it was Zekin really getting into that site. The late backstab too, into the Viper's pit. Now an option for an ultimate. Last time he used it, completely useless. No one there to break the trip for him. He fell down quickly. But now to rebuild that momentum for Sentinels, he'll be a focal point. Actually, YFP again on the initiative. They're looking to go to the spawn. John QT, he's stunned up. The IGL has absolutely nowhere to go but hide, and wait for his time. But what a shot! It's a 1-for-1. And Sentinels now, with their head cut off, regroup back into the A site, but they're still falling.
Make a play. Gets nothing for it. And Jake is ulted his way back onto this site to try and hold things down. 1 versus 3, shots whiffing. That's a good jiggle out of Curry.
Whoa.
But he teleports away.
How was he out of there?
For now, and now he'll send himself straight back in. Rocket up for second, and he's ripped out of midair. The trade's there, and Curry's good for a second. Now diving into the site goes Penny, and down goes another. Sen, stalwart in this defense. The 2 new players to try and shut down the Thief. But they're both low. And Thief has made his way around to backside. It's not planted for them. They have 1 molly. And on the swing, no! Thief gets them both! How has he done that?
It's just not real! That's not the first time today either. No! Just ripping it out of their hands.
True to his name.
Unbelievable. I mean, they're right there, trying to play the high-low.
And they're just so low.
Oh, Redux, I think, took a step to his left there. Might have lost the chance to get the kill. And I mean, that's just brutal, because not only does that 1v2 go poorly, Zekin shot out of the air, the second showstopper of the game, getting 0 value.
And look what that has done to Sentinels. Their money reset. Some big ults gone from that round. And now down 6-3 on their attacking side of Lotus.
Looks like we have a bit of a tech pause. I was gonna say...
Thief broke something after winning the clutch, maybe.
Can we get a table check?
Yeah.
Is there a handprint in that table?
We'll see what's going on.
Who knows? We'll work through it, but I mean, at the same time, it's a bit of ice, a bit of a time to get a breather after a round like that, because I mean, that was chaos from start to finish,
yes.
Right? That round started with John QT getting solo breach ulted, completely dove upon, somehow he gets a kill. But there was just ults all over the place in that one.
Players readying up again on stage, so we should be straight back into the game in a moment.
It seems like in so many of these rounds, YFP have gotten a kill in the first 5 to 10 seconds. Whether that was the stun play in a lobby, that dive play going into spawn, their forward fighting has been exceptionally effective from Sentinels, or into Sentinels rather.
Yeah, finding a lot of those opportunities to start these rounds, and this time it's Zekin again. He loves going for something aggro on these ecos. Shotgun versus shotgun, and well, I guess it's the Stinger that's better in that game.
Interesting round state now. Sentinels get that opener, bait out an ultimate. I mean, already somewhat successful. Their problem is they have no control over the extremities, A or C, because they went 5 into B and thought they could just get a cheap plant down. So now re-clearing into A could be a problem for them, as YFP step back into that space.
Check out this off angle for Jake. He's holding deep on that line. Players About to swing through as Penny finds one on the spam, and Sen forced back by the paranoia and held at bay by a smoke.
It's frustrating too, because Curry can't actively lurk in front B. He's on 40 HP with a stinger. At best, he's trying to kill players rotating over. Now those rotates are coming in. See groups back into his team. Thief stepping in. Even Noyad, he's holding his ground.
But the tripwires are good enough. And now a round that looked possible for Sentinels, now looking a little less so as Penny takes down Curry. And on the way into the site, YFP have the numbers, slide around the corner, Redux. How's he done that? Surely he can't get another. And he will not. Still only one left for YFP in that round.
Redux needs to chill with the Sheriff. These rounds are getting way closer than they should be.
He has been monstrous this series.
Got to be happy with individually how it started, but now it's got to be about getting that win. Map 2, map 3.
Remember, single elimination. You lose this match, and that means Sentinels out in the first round.
I don't know. If I'm Zegan, I think he's falling to the floor, hands and knees begging someone break a tripwire for me, please.
It's so many rounds that he's died to a tripwire on these entries. Thief is just perfect in the position.
He's either not gotten to play the game at all because of utility, or he's getting like 2-3 kills deep in rounds, winning them out for the team. But it's more often than not been getting shut down very early on.
I mean, it's what you need to shut down a player like Zekin. Timeout going to be taken here from Sen. The second in the half.
Do you think Zekin could be too warm? Got the hoodie on?
Expand?
I don't know.
It's kind of cool in here. I think that's
It is a little chilly. No. I think he's actually onto something.
And this is indeed the second time out of the half for Sentinels. They need to get these last few rounds if they want to make this a winnable half.
I mean, it makes sense. It can hurt to call 2 timeouts like this early on, but at the end of the day, if your team just keeps slipping away, you're not going to have a good time to call a timeout in the second half when you're down 10-2.
Back into it now.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
The focus has got to be these early fights.
A Penny choosing to just buy a Bucky and
B-Dog on a judge.
Yeah.
What is this technology?
Interesting. I don't think they even had enough money for something better, despite winning that last round. The eco damage was enough. Nightfall for A. No one contesting. YFP gonna play Flood retake here. Dink for a second, but no kill. They'll see that seize on Penny, and he's in trouble. Nade and the shot from John. His physic just dives into Zekin and shuts it all down. When can you miss it? YFP looks stunning on the retake.
Yeah, Sentinels got outread, I think, on that one. They're going off the information that YFP like to play very strong on one side, very weak on the other. And so they're trying to not two-phase their hit into A. Instead, they just go rubble straight into the site, use that fatal to break it. But YFP are already here. Like, they've got 2 people back site, 2 more flooding out through Baby Door. Sentinels just caught off guard, trying to go fast.
Yeah.
Another excellent read from YFP, frankly. Oh,
Jake gets
hold on.
an opener, and he's just spamming bodies.
Already got him.
Onto Zelsis? Okay.
Zelsis ain't getting up. I can tell you that much.
That is a confident off angle to be playing towards C. And now that is a man up on the retake for YFP. Can they end this half 9-3? Dive in for Penny. Won't make any chaos happen this time, as it's a Viper's Pit in the post plant for Sentinels. B-Dog. A tough position to play back in through.
So winnable for Sen, all hiding in here. The first kills have to go their way, and they don't. Redux still back in sight. The pit now goes down. Curry falling is brutal, but they're still fighting their way forward. Redux ready for it around the corner. Sentinels are shutting down YFP. Redux gets the kill, and Sentinels hold on in the first half.
Finally a 4th round coming through for Sentinels. An 8-4 on the half, though. It'll be YFP turning over to the attack side. A brutal situation for Sentinels, already down a map. but not out of this game yet. We'll come to a break, and when we return, it's the second half. Of Lotus. Welcome back to Red Bull Homeground. We're in the second half of our second series here, and there's one slot remaining in the grand finals. Sentinels down 8-4, and this pistol round is big for them to try and come back.
It absolutely is. Obviously, things coming together late in the day for Sentinels, but YFP on the opposite side, they grinded their way here. They won out through the qualifier, dropped a single map on that. Maybe not even dropping a map against Sentinels if they keep this up.
Yeah, dropping that single map to TSM, beating the team who knocked them out in Challengers, who went all the way to Brazil for Ascension. And now a chance to knock Sentinels out of this tournament.
Find you.
They won the first pistol. And in this second, they'll set up towards B to start.
Showing presence both front B and front C early on. It's always coming back over into A lobby. Second breaking the door is heard, but they go a little bit early. Redux is there, unexpected. And with the paranoia to force them back out of space, the paint shells I don't think got any damage, but the shots certainly are. This is a great opener for YFP, or for Sentinels, what am I saying?
Sen have two players left towards this C site and two mollies to speak of. Both of them actually now used and broken on the other. Where do YFP want to finish this one? They've pulled out Util on C, they've pressured on B, and with the breach stun ready to go, they've walked their way out onto the C site. Do they know this player is so deep? And Omen wrapping around and Curry polices it to shut the round down in an instant. 5 seconds is all it takes to win a pistol for Sentinels.
I don't even think they took 50 damage across their 5 players.
Don't think so.
That was clean. All right, so pistols are even between the halves. Things very doable now for Sen. One sheriff in the hands of Penny to see if it can get something done on that side.
I think a lot of questions for John QT about calling this attack side.
Yeah.
Obviously a little bit different when you're playing that initiator instead of his normal Cypher on this map.
In similar fashion to Sunset, Sentinels now on defense both times after winning pistol. Go for the full 5 gun buy on attack going for the FPX buy. I like how they do that. Look at that teleport. Getting all the way in there. They could leave him if they want, but not if Curry's just flying on in there, picking up kill after kill after kill. And that is 8 kills before an answer in the first 2 rounds, and they just keep on coming. No B-Dog to run, and 3 for second.
Unfortunately, not enough funneled into him to get a showstopper for this bonus round. But still a clean one for Sen to fight back.
Little sign of life there after the couple-minute breaks we had.
There.
Both teams posturing towards A on this bonus round for Sentinels. Teleport up. Second, fighting in and off of the paranoia. He'll take down the omen of Jake. Redux is up above them and no one's spotting him out. It's a lovely shot out of that Guardian. Trades are there and somehow it stayed even. 2-on-2. B-Dog has done a lot and look towards B. Alurk has already worked his way in.
But the thing is, Zelsys is pushed up into C.
B-Dog is holding this. How is he so ready? Damage for both.
No one knows what's going on. Attack, defense, it doesn't matter. Sentinels now claim YFP spawn.
Are they going to go
back in theirs.
into A?
I think they could, and maybe they
Walk
should.
all the way around. He'll tap on B, and now rotate through spawn to A. But John is suspicious of it. Does he have a timing here?
He might just. It's going to be so narrow. No.
B-Dog gets away, but I don't think B-Dog knows.
But again, YFP still playing into the spawn. Zelsys is low, 30 HP. That is 1 shot to the body. Enough for a kill. He actually abandons on the spawn angle instead, trying to group back up with his teammate and get back into the site together.
So John QT the danger man.
But now they know. The audio cues tell them no one's in spawn. YFP can focus fire on these players coming in, regrouping back into tree.
Thief, the healthy one, ready on that. Oh, John just eviscerates him. That's a good shot out of him. B-Dog playing with the time. John swings in, and the IGL does it all. 3 in a row for Sentinels.
Huge round out of John. Anticipates the fake tap, getting back over to the A site quickly. And then winning out in those shots. Did look like a little bit of a misplay coming in from YFP's side. Thief went for the swing just a fraction of a second before the breach stun connected.
Yeah. I mean, really navigating a super weird round state late.
Yeah, I mean, it starts off with a very similar play to the last half where that Omen TP gets shut down immediately.
Credit to B-Dog. That was a 3v5 that he nearly turned around.
Wow.
So this round will start similar for at least YFP, taking space out A lobby.
Yeah, they do the sane Omen teleport this time around, though. TPing back Rubble so you can't get spammed away.
They'll break the door and just pivot straight into the B site. No one here to receive. And YFP might be able to get a spike plant down.
Yeah, Thief just pulled the alarm bot over into C2 to keep a player on that side. No flood retake into the B site. And this lets the YFP get more space. We got a pick over onto C. Now regrouping back with the team. Second finally gets his 2 on the showstopper.
Last player standing.
There's not much left for YFP to play for. Just to kill through the smoke. Sentinels are all tied up.
Clean flood retake from Sen. The showstopper finding a lot of value, not letting the lurks get anything weird. And now I think feeling themselves again on this defensive side.
B-Dog has the Rolling Thunder. It's looking like just fast B to me. Some options to pivot back into Thief if they want, but more than likely Thief just gonna guard against Mound, make sure no one taps the door to fight his players in main.
John QT running for the hills will escape the B site. As YFP don't have to use the Rolling Thunder. Instead, they're gonna save that one for the post plant. Nightfall in, Rolling Thunder through second was stunned. It's just cosmetic as Curry claims another. And a third for Sentinels as they completely remove YFP from the B site.
That was devastating. 3 kills unanswered. YFP going full heavy armor as well, I believe.
Here.
That is going to sting as these rounds keep racking up. If Sentinels can keep all these guns alive too, like, when's the next time they'd even have to eco? It'd be a long time in the future.
Toxins going up. One enemy. Attempt into the site, but nothing for it. A flawless round to Sentinels.
I think that's lost 5 in a row for Sen. I mean, these quick floods from them have been super effective. Look at that. Curry taking his timing onto the planter. The rest of the team sort of bogged down in main, stuck behind the Viper wall. No support really came out on that, and now YFP forced for a half buy.
Where are you?
The pacing of YFP's ults is pretty good, though. It's pretty feasible that next round they have Neon and Fade. We can get something going here.
Celsius could have gotten a little bit stuck there, but instead he'll escape back to the site.
Annoying little lurk smokes drop down. There's an alarm bot that protects the front of those smokes and 2 faces staring at the other one. Don't think YFP's getting in there.
Redux was embedded early on Rubble. They're just gonna go straight through the one-way. Redux teleports away, finds his way safely back to the site. Support is a ways away. Sentinels are sticking to this stack on C.
Yeah, Thief has kept 3 players interested for the time being, but YFP have not seized the day on A. Maybe working back into B, but then you fall victim to that fast flood potentially. Thief saw a shoulder, but I think he was seen on the opposite end too. Now that C isn't an issue, Sentinels can focus onto this B site, where YFP are looking to get all the way back into their spawn for a peek.
YFP can always get this spike down, but they've struggled to close out. And Sentinels again holding every avenue of approach. Penny has only 42 health and a stinger in his hand to try and hold down. Towards heaven is Jake as well. Will attempt to make a play in the smoke. This cam's just too good. Sentinels again overwhelm with their forces and win yet another round on the retake.
Valorant looks a little bit easier when Zelsis is just holding W and left click with the Odin.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all it takes. This is where YFP are really challenged though, because I mean, if you were iced a few rounds ago, you are frozen solid now. You have that halftime break that you don't always deal with online matches.
Have they taken a timeout yet in this half? I don't think so.
I'm gonna say no, because I don't remember it. But also, I forget things. What I can tell you is Sentinels have won the last 7 in a row.
And YFP are going right back to it. There's a player in that corner. Celsius on an off angle.
No way.
And Seconds just found one back towards it. That's the lurker dead. And for seemingly the millionth round in a row, it's a man advantage early to the Sentinels.
YFP had 4 ults. Now they have 3. The important one's still alive. And they're going on forward. Blood Trail gives them the pathing. And without audio, Zelsis still is good for his one. Eyes on Curry, hiding in the smoke. But as he goes down, so does the site.
Haunt's coming back soon for John QT. And Satchels for Zekin to get out of this one. Haunt online, broken instantly. No information to be found. Sen already walking out, though. They're on this site. And Penny's ready. 1 for 1 goes the trade. And another for Zekin. Leaving it all down to Jake. Forced forward by the nade. And that shot is amazing. Plucked second from the sky. And now against the Odin, he'll run around the world, try and find some cover. Time on his side. Teleport forward. He wants to wrap all the way around. Noise made. John has to half this one, but the swing from Jake is just in time. He'll finally break Sentinel's streak with the clutch.
Neck and neck at the end right there. I really like the way Jake played around that, hugging so close to the wall there, making it really hard for John to choose to push him or go to the spike. Kind of a lose-lose situation right there with so little time left on the clock. And I mean, again, he doesn't stop moving, man. Like, what is this? Still finding some. Zekin had a gorgeous round, but it just was not enough after those openers went YFP's way.
So it's the same opening. C-Mountain control taken. Oh, but Zekin was ready this time. Operator removes Penny from the round.
The showstopper isn't working, but the op may just do the trick.
21-12 for New Jersey's finest.
A lot of New Jersey fans in the room.
There shouldn't be.
Tough.
Here.
Spike drop.
I think Liz is falling to her knees in a Walmart right now.
That'd be a wall. Good one from Redux again here. Paranoia keeps them away, and YFP are just walking into bullets this round.
And then there were two. Just dropping like flies.
11 is written on the walls for Sentinels.
30 seconds left.
I don't know if looking for a plant is the right move here. Physics just trying to guard Jake's back, but the money is not good for YFP. Sentinels are moving up into 11 here.
Left.
And they're gonna have two rifles realistically, make that one.
Yeah, that would have been a third gun if Jake had stayed alive. He could have bought a teammate.
Oh dear.
And now it's none.
It's slipping. It is slipping. The Sentinels defense is just nasty.
That's the thing about upsets like this one. You feel so good once you win that map one, once you have the momentum behind you, but it is so much harder to find that adaptation once they figure it out, once your opponent gets hot.
I like the angles that Zekin was choosing to play with the op too. Not like the first peak angles that a lot of people will like to play with the operator, because the earlier you get the information, the more chance you have of getting a fight. It's those ones that you can be slightly lazy on clearing. Here we go, YFP, absolutely nothing but the fingers for Penny, but a blind comes down. Now he's stalled out, waiting for his teammates to follow on in, and as more and more smokes come into the fray, he's gonna be hard-pressed to get more than just the one here. Makes that two. He's still going now. Holds his ground as there are guns to be reclaimed on the site.
And a rolling thunder in this post plant. 3 weapons now recovered. Curry trying to find the timing. He'll walk forward. Penny planting. Vulnerable around that corner as his teammates are dying left and right. Jake only gets one. Penny has to do it all. Slide forward. Aggressive on the fight, but John wins it again. 20 kills for the IGL.
The John QT agent pool expanding into an agent ocean now. Can play just about everything. When's he gonna try the duelist, Mimi?
Maybe not with Zekin on the team.
There.
Put him on the Oru. I wanna see what it looks like.
Don't think we'll be getting that one anytime soon. So last chance rodeo for YFP to get a 2-0 here. They're 3 away from overtime, and they do have a big ultimate here in the Rolling Thunder.
Bring them down.
Sentinels are stacked so heavy over into A, but they'll be busting down Baby Door. Have the option to pinch into that B site quickly. YFP land the stun, and they know there's a player there, not wanting to go in. A few times now when they've entered that site, they've been stuck with most of the players behind that Viper wall. So instead, maybe trying to pull players into that C site with this pressure of the door open.
Zolcis knows there's a lot of half armor on that other team. And he has the Outlaw. 3 players are 1 shot to it. And the first one swinging in will escape him. Lockdown committed very early here. We'll keep YFP out of the sight. So now Zekin in the point position. Penny slides on him. That flash
Still going.
is good. And Penny's gonna go for another here. Swing onto Curry. That's a bridge too far. Curry takes him down and escapes alive for now as well as the Nightfall comes into the site. Curry gets one. Another, if he can clear this corner, he'll snap around and do just that as it's all down to Jake. His position revealed. And 2 players against him. Spam going through, tap on the spike. Jake has the onus on him, and he cannot win it. Redux for the final kill as Sentinels push this series all the way.
There's no one better at locking down that B site than Curry. Flying out there multiple times this game. People trying to plant the spike, always good for a couple in that spot. And it all came down to him, with ultimates being traded back on the other side of that fight in Baby Door. He was one man really against the world.
He really was. Icebox the map to decide this series. And that is a scary prospect, I think, for YFP. That second half was all Sentinels.
Yes, it was.
They were down 8-4 going into their defensive Lotus.
And then lose 1 round on defense?
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, you know what? If I was Kaplan, I'd be happy.
Yeah, you should be.
I'm not him.
That's so true. What a great way to end it. We have Icebox coming up, the final map of this series to decide it all and see who heads their way to the finals. We'll be back with map number 3.
Welcome back, one and all, to the Red Bull home ground NA qualifier. This was map number 2, and this do or nothing game for both of these teams. Doug and Baby Bay are joining me once more to break it all down. And quite frankly, at the beginning of this very map, Sentinels found themselves on the back foot, and a lot of that had to do with just not being able to win out the moments where they have player advantage. Like, those are clutch moments, like, you should not be losing them.
1000%. Rob was sitting in the green room with us while we were watching the map, and I've never seen a man become so undone in such a small amount of time. I swear he was like living 15, 20 years in 1 to 2 rounds in a row. And honestly, so you're absolutely right. I think a lot of it was Sentinels were not winning rounds that they should have been winning, where they had numbers advantages, where they weren't really able to execute. This is a really good example of it. They decide to high-low when Thief is in a 1v2 in a post-plant situation. You can tuck tree. If you're gonna high-low, that's fine. You can tuck tree. You can force them to play that on you. And they weren't converting in those situations. And Dre, those are devastating.
Yeah, a lot of micro mistakes being made, and I guess that's to be expected from a team that has, what, 4 days, Rob was saying, of playing together?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a core, but still, very pivotal players.
Pivotal.
Pivotal.
Yeah, keep on, get there.
Players.
Get there, you got it.
Got taken out of their roster, and it's big shoes to fill, and we're seeing that. But I will say, John looked great on the fade on this map.
Yeah, he did.
The Sova was still rough, but it's okay. There's time to grow, and it's very early on for next year for him to get accustomed to this role if they want to keep it this way.
Yeah, and to go off of, so you were saying earlier, it was those moments that they weren't winning in the first half that really set the spark for the second half. And it was in the, I believe it was the bonus round, where there was a very clean 1v2 that they should have been winning. B-Dog was in a spot where, yeah, he's weak, but this is hard to do. But they play this so differently. And yes, the circumstances are different, but they play this differently. They're able to execute it. And then if you remember, that was the bonus that led to them winning, I believe it was, what, 8 rounds in a row, something like that?
Yeah, they finally managed to string stuff together, snowballing off of those victories and off of those moments that they should have won to begin with. But yeah, now we're here. They finished this one very, very strong. However, if you're looking at the other side, there's got to be a few honorable mentions for that one as well, Baby Bay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that defensive side for YFP was awesome. 8-4 half on the defense. That's great, especially running a Neon Breach composition, which you would tend to think that the attacking side would be favored for it. And a big part of that was Thief. His setups on Cypher were crazy against Sentinels. He kept changing it up, trip in the air, trip on a weird off angle on the ground, and you could tell that these Sentinels players were not accustomed to the playstyle and the trip positioning of Thief on that attacking side of theirs.
Yeah, I think Thief was a really bright spot on the side of YFP. Penny had some really big moments as well, which, again, we've just kind of started to expect out of him at this point. I think there was a lot of reason to be excited at the beginning of the series, and yeah, he's continued to deliver. I think, if I may, one little asterisk or something to keep an eye on for the side of Sentinels is, for as much as they were losing those moments that they should have been winning at the beginning, they started to put them together, but there were still issues there. You think late into the second half, there was one other 1v2 that they lost that they should have won. And if those are not things that they can shore up, there's a really good chance YFP is going to pounce on this again.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, right? You can't take anything away from YFP. They, quite frankly, if they saw an opening, they took it. If you give them any room, they have been so clean in their executions and in the read of the game that they were able to jump on that. And now we're finding ourselves on Icebox, guys. This is a map we've not seen much of from both of these teams very recently.
Yeah, I was really hoping there'd be Arena. I'm not going to lie to you, I was thinking it would be Zekin. I really did, and I know that sounds crazy, and I know, but just give me, let me have this one. Right? Letting that work out is great, but I get Zekin back on the Sova. You were talking earlier about how insane he is on the Sova, but Penny's gonna have a lot to deliver here. You know it, man. Arena is feast or famine. When she's eating, it's over. But if she's starved out, she sucks.
It is, and it's really tough to break through on the attacking side, specifically towards A. This is something that TSM struggled quite a lot in Ascension, running the same exact composition that YFP is running. It can be very hard, especially against an opper like Redux, to actually get him pushed fully off the line, because you're gonna have to use a Leer, you're gonna have to use the Gecko Flash, and it's outplayable. You can tuck, you can re-peek into it. It's not guaranteed info like a KO dagger to be able to punish a Jet, because she cannot use her utility to dash away.
Sorry, I'm sure what you said was really insightful and
I was also just captivated. It turned into rah.
Celsius did it again. I don't know how he does it. It's just crazy. And then he blew the kiss into the camera.
I know. He knows what he's doing.
It's annoying
gross.
how good he's at it.
It is so weird to see him on Killjoy, though, instead of John. It's just, like, kind of off to me right now.
Yeah.
Even though I know Zelsis can play, like, pretty much anything in the game, it's still just weird seeing it, like, in the actual server, seeing the name to the character. But also, interesting to see Redux on Jet. Like, this guy might just go nuclear right now.
He might just do that. Well, he has to, because this is do or die for both of these teams. Only one of them will be advancing to the grand finals. It's about as dramatic as it gets, and who better to bring you all that drama with gravitas than our casters, Ender and Mimi.
Thanks very much, Zoe. Yes, it's a big one here. A chance for that final where you have a chance to fight for the Red Bull home ground world final in Berlin, Germany. I think everyone expected Sen to be in that final, but YFP have pushed them here. And now the question is if they can recover from that tough second half of Lotus and the loss on that map.
It's interesting, right? Because we've gone to the limit in this series now, but both games very similar, kind of in reverse. Closer first half, and then one-side domination in that second half, whether that was YFP really cruising through the end of Sunset, and of course, that map of Lotus. We'll see how things start off here. Very interesting comps, that's to say the least. The Reyna, of course, not a huge surprise, but it flits in from time to time. But now everything riding on the performances in this game, and on the Redux Jet from Sentinels.
Winding the clock back for Zekin to play into that Sova. The pistol round gets underway with YFP playing a slow default to begin.
Shots tag up Penny here early on. Getting that Reyna out of the picture, so important on a pistol round. You give her one kill, that snowball is going to keep on rolling. Interesting that YFP have found a big gap over into A. Very passive
Fight
setup
in mid
from
here,
Curry.
maybe. Zealous has walked all the way up, not clearing the close corner, and Jake gets his as a result. So that's an opener found for YFP, and a second fight taken by Jake.
And YFP are all the way through A. Even if they lose the player there, Curry is walking back in to another YFP player. Thief slipped all the way through now. There's more players coming around him. He gets his first. This next one up against Curry means everything.
30 seconds left.
Domed by Redux on the opposite side. And now YFP, their players are completely scattered.
Maybe the fifth reflank of this round. Physic walks his way up through mid as Penny taps onto the spike. A swing from Redux, and Physic to clean up. A double for him, and YFP take the pistol.
2 bullets, 2 heads for Physic there. Nice little 1-2. And I'm really curious how much this continues for YFP, because that was so massively lurk heavy. And sometimes you do that on a pistol round where maybe you're missing some critical util to cover your flanks. But I mean, here, as soon as Zelsis goes down, that's what I'm talking about. You've got no more of that guaranteed mid-watch, flank watch, those types of things. YFP found openings in both A and B, which is almost unheard of.
This round 4-1 towards B for YFP, and well, that side is completely open for business. Sentinels gamble wrong in this one.
It is worth shouting out how annoying YFP's comp can be, just in terms of the amount of different things you have to shoot.
Yes.
Sova Dart, drone, Gecko flash coming through, Rainaleer as well. You've got to have multiple players on a site to guard you, or you're pretty much trapped. You can't do that all on your own.
Wingman on a plant even. It's a lot you got to deal with against this composition.
Redux flying out over on the flank.
And YFP will just condense this post plan a little bit as Sentinels head all the way back through mid to try and make some trouble with these classics. Wall up, Penny. The power of that Reyna gets to fight forward, take some more risks. Use that dismiss to get away. He'll do just that, escapes towards main as Redux goes down, and Penny will make sure this round stays nice and secure. 3 kills found, and that's 2 up for YFP.
Give me more orbs. Jake's looking for him. He gets the one before drying to the spike. John can go ahead and deny those.
Unfortunately, the orb's not going to B-Dog, probably the man they would have wanted to funnel those into.
It's very true. Reynolds better now that it's permanent, but
okay,
not the greatest to funnel up.
Funneling ult for Reyna ult.
Hey, you know what? You can press at the start of the round and not feel like an idiot. It's good.
That's true.
Now, the tough news for Sentinels is because of how they spent their early money, there was no chance for Redux to actually get an operator headed into this round. That's okay. He wants to go ahead and fight. Posted up on Belt, guarding for that orb to be taken, but it was just a straight up 1-for-1 in mid.
And Redux just misses it on. He's gonna go back up, try and double dip in this one, and he won't get anything the second time either. Did they expect Thief this deep? He's on a very forward angle, and Redux was ready for it.
Such a chaotic map so far from YFP, because they're attacking kind of everywhere. They're mid, they're B, they're A.
A lot of just walking around the map and finding these opportunities.
And look how Sentinels are playing this. The pistol round and now in round 3, they shrink into that space in mid. Instead of having just one solo player guard A, guard B, they're actually opening up those sites, allowing YFP to get a plant down and being comfortable in the retakes. We've seen this in both of their defensive sides. For the first 2 maps, they like to play retakes. They will leave sites open and play together. It's been largely effective for them.
Wingman will get the plant.
A lot of Wingman fans. New Jersey, meh. Wingman, yeah.
Jake, let's see how he can do here. Nothing. Nice patience from Redux to pinch on that fight. No one's watching Physic. Redux just runs straight past, he'll die. Good turn on the flash and an escape into a corner, but it's not safe enough. Set up 3v1. And B-Dog in a tough position here. Tap on the spike. Dizzy, she gets 2 blinds, but that's a shock molly to cut him off from the spike, and he knows this round is over.
Some nice mechs from Physic there, but not enough to turn the round back in YFP's favor. Important round for Sentinels to win. Econ not great. Keeping 3 rifles keeps them very much in it. If Redux was a little bit closer, your chances would be nicer, but it's all good at the end of the day. Oh, yeah.
You guys like Wingman? I'm glad to see a mediocre turnout for Wingman.
Yeah, you know. Could be better.
Reyna there to open things up over towards B.
Yeah, no lurks this time around.
A bit faster for YFP.
Destroyed.
I mean, they've got flash combos, they've got darts coming at the same time. Again, too much things to be able to break on your own.
And Zekin's got a Hunter's Fury. That's not gonna find anything. Wingman again gonna get that plant in. So a 5v5 in this post plant now. John QT has a knife. That could be big to take away some of this utility in the post plant.
Zekin just sent out a dart lineup, headed over into B main. Orbs up, smokes in, Redux flying on through, but it's not gonna work. Jake is just holding his ground. 2 to him, a shock dart even coming out from Sentinels. They are moving forward, but still hard pressed to actually get onto the spike. 2 players remain for YFP. That might be all they need. Dart now, B-Dog got the ultimate, look at Zekin go!
What has he done? Back-to-back kills with a jumping right click. Straight over the thrash and around the world.
And on the Sova, of all things. Zekin stepping into that one, making it work in the post plant. Another successful retake for Sentinels.
Right here.
Yeah, nominally he's a Sova, but that round he's just still playing the Jet with his team.
It's crazy, because like, B-Dog, by all accounts, won the round by getting his kill. That kill brings it from a 2v3 into a 2v2, and he has Thrash.
Yes.
And then Zekin just says no. Yeah, fool, you shouldn't have used that ability. Now I'll kill you.
And unfortunately for YFP, that puts their money in the dumpster. 2 hero rifles brought in. Redux going for another aggro peek here.
He likes that angle.
He does. But again, he gets nothing for a hit. And this time, it's actually Thief hopping up and loses his head. Penny back in, so YFP stay even, but another shot dart from Zekin! Has he gotten a kill with the rifle yet?
Take him off the duelist, put him on the Sova. It's crazy. Redux now 2 kills on the round as well. Gets the headshot through the wall, but he's taken down.
What are these rounds?
The
Curry in the
eco, by the
clutch.
way.
Welcome to my
And a Viper's Pit committed. Again, that should lock up this round. But we've seen some madness already.
They heard him fall.
They're just dropping the pit. That gives Curry a chance. 1v1. Jake playing close. Swing through, and Jake has the line. So YFP convert an eco round.
Jake won that round. He didn't even put his orb down.
This is madness.
He was saving because it was an eco, and they won without it anyways. It just didn't matter. Just nuts. And now the other swing of the pendulum. Sentinels on a low buy. Redux has the knives though, so it's all good.
Redux Blade Storm forward, but he whiffs the shots. Couldn't connect onto the head, and now he's back down to just the Sheriff.
All right, never mind. Zekin can play Jet. The shocks are good, but I'm playing. Redux, of course, having a fantastic day so far. Wild to see him in the duelist spot now. Third and final map to move on into finals. That said, Sentinels have called this hit into the B site. 3 players now ready to fight out.
Lear for Penny. But where is that spike headed?
Yo, we call this one the Kesnet. Leave the
Lurking
Reyna over back
duelist.
yellow. And then call those rotates over as the A hit comes on down.
No one caught by the knife, though.
Oh, he could speed up.
They could go back into B. They don't think Penny's yellow. There's no way Curry spots him.
Now they do.
He could be in trouble here. Zels is up forward, and Zels is dead. Now they're gonna swing the pendulum for the 19th time this round, go back into A.
30 seconds left.
There's one Molly to try and stall on out. But with that Killjoy dead, it's all but futile. As YFP will secure a post plant. Or will they? Flood ready to go. Dark being invested really early. And Sentinel's already fighting up. There is 10 seconds and that spike is not planted. Send for 1. John trades through. YFP dueling into the site.
Plant the spike!
5 seconds. Where's the plant? Just in the nick of time. John for 1. The leader needs the ace to win this round. And he's up against 2. No util to speak of. And YFP holding their nerve. Thief on the angle. Denies the clutch.
Thief has been locked in today. Haven't seen many mistakes out of the player. Even when the rounds get chaotic, often the rock for this team to keep on winning them through. And that was as crazy as they come. I mean, look at that. Penny's spot, and he still finds that. Are you joking me? You could see the power, too, of YFP's comp, because I think, like, so many flashes went into the backside here on A that the actual players that were down on the ground from Sentinels completely stranded, no one able to break those out. Gave YFP the winning recipe to kind of head at that one. Good dizzy up as well. Comboed with Alir means that, no, there's no real dart to be grabbed there. No forward space to be taken. YFP continuing to bully their way up.
Take flight.
Sentinels are rotating.
Another
4
mid-round
players
stack.
into this A site. It is just the pistols, but the stack's still dangerous. Wingland going in. And I think the util just too late to deny that plant. Sentinels still go fast, try and flood their way through here as Redux finds one head, and the Dismiss steals a kill away from Celsius. He'll find it in the end.
Jake
That's
just
all
got
that Sentinels
3
are getting.
kills on the other side of things. Just knocking them down as they ran out of heaven. And that's interesting too, because Jake is getting away with not throwing his orb into mid every round. That time he throws it up into heaven and plays around it really nicely. That's how he's able to find all those kills. He's 12-4 very quietly. It's pretty rare that teams will hold on to the Viper orb for the A-side execs when they're playing a single smoke comp.
Yeah.
It limits your ability to rotate back over into the opposite side of the map, but that was their plan. 5 hit into A, and it worked beautifully.
Teams are almost always mid-orb, B-wall.
Yeah. I think a bit of an anti-eco strat.
Redux is thinking maybe there's not an orb again. He could get an angle through mid. Doesn't, and his dash was popped there. So that's a tool he will not have later in this round. Dizzy whips out on its target, and Redux has a shot, but no dash to escape from this jam. His teammates, though, do have his back as they take down the rest of YFP and leave B-Dog reeling towards spawn.
Not a bad look there from Sen. Realizing that mid-split was coming into them very quickly, even though they didn't get that first shot with the op. Then sort of pulling back, fighting into B main, shutting that one down. They focused one front at a time, and it worked really nicely for them.
That it did. So after 3 rounds lost in a row, Sen have some control back. And they're gonna lean heavy towards A, just leaving that operator to hold on the B side.
Redux new on the squad, and you get it done on your own. No friends to help him out on that side of the map. If YFP were to slam that, no one to break that util.
Especially tough against this comp.
Interesting that Sentinels pull back out of A, now spending more bodies into that mid space. Trying to fake that early presence, but again, they want to be in this A space for the next 15, 20 seconds. Because the Dizzy's going to be back up. YFP looking for another exec into this side of the map. This time Sentinels are here.
Drone spots 2 on the rafters.
Oh.
Here comes the Hunter's Fury. Jake is running down the Viper entry frag. Okay. He's got the space for his squad.
2 tags, not bad.
But look at the tools for Sentinels. Lockdown, null command, so much to get back into this site, and they're going to use it all.
At the same time, too, the null command says you can't fight forward into us with those flashes. And they're not even going to try to plant the spike. 40 seconds only on the clock. Going back into B would be a death sentence with Redux's off there. But now going forward, there's a pit!
You should run.
There's no good option here. The
If you wait
lockdown
for
could fix
this,
it, though.
you only have 15 seconds to plant the spike, though.
And it means a full 5v5 brawl on the A site.
They have wings for it, though, and that could be everything.
Thrash in. Molly trying to deny, but Wingman achieves his mission. 5 versus 5. 2 flashes on John QT. Celsius down. That's an advantage, but Curry running and gunning his way into the site. Gets one of his own. Second phase of this post-fight. YFP pro players back, but there's still Thief committed on the site. He'll claim his and into the Thrash. Second is jumping with the right-click classic again. Now and up. Picked up for the Sova. And Jake around 410 to remove him from this round. YFP win a round where Sentinels committed 2 of their biggest ults possible.
The way Jake has danced around this A site in the post plants has been ludicrous. He's finding so many opportunities to actually fight forward, not playing behind his wall, taking timings through it. The few rounds back, playing around his orb very nicely too. I mean, this guy is fragging out of his mind right now.
And off that loss, Kaplan will take his first time out of Icebox. Those last 3 rounds could be make or break for Sen. Thus far, this op for Redux has not been able to find much value.
They've kind of played around it a few times, right? He's been taking the more passive line, especially when he's left on his own. But we'll see if they even have the money to buy into that. Not sure. It feels like YFP's comp just wants to brawl and brawl and brawl with the agents they have. And it might be hard to actually match into that for Sentinels. They can try to play that fast flood retake. That's been effective for them in the past. Especially if you can, eat up a lot of those key abilities. But if you're doing that, you're kind of playing to the whims of YFP. You have to get pushed and pulled by them until that spike's down.
Yeah, these Gecko comps let you just have that 6-man when you're planting the spike, fighting forward into back site. And generally, YFP has been winning that out and denying these flood retakes.
And that's the thing, right, is flood retakes are difficult when the person planting the spike is a little buddy, and he's not actually one of the 5 guys on the team. They can have 5 rifles ready to go and fight all those players that Sentinels are sending on through. And Sentinels, yeah, they've got the KO flashes, but those are just a little bit less versatile on a map like Icebox, where there's so many different angles, especially around the A site, that you're not actually hitting people with that ability a ton.
Sen want to fight forward this round and contest A a little bit. But the Dizzy Dart again will keep them held back. And YFP will head towards B. That's into Redux's AWP.
It's his chance right here. Has to wait out the drone. Playing the passive angle, the shoulder there, and nicely baited by Penny.
But he still has dash. A chance to go aggressive a second time. But the leer wasn't enough. Redux adjusts and takes Penny down through the box.
Such a narrow shot too he hits there. But how aggro does he want to be? Right now just playing that passive angle. Has Zelsis spotting his front sight.
Jake's out of gas, so a freeze on the round to reset. Sen keeping 3 players towards A. And Redux repositioning towards Snowman. YFP have contacted up, and now they'll fight through. A back shown, but Redux didn't have a chance to connect the shot. He spots one, not even the player he saw that he takes down. He's in trouble though, 26 health. A dash to get out, Physic on the fight, but Curry there with the trade. 3v2, but it's a Viper's pit to help out YFP.
He's up!
And Jake gets it! He'll drop back down into his pit. A second chance. Celsius finds his teammate, and it's all up to Jake. Another reposition. He'll walk all the way around.
How?
He drops his pit. They have no idea. John dead. And a 1v1 that Jake wins.
This dude is just filthy. I mean, he's starting the round on the ground of that site. Goes up, gets his, falls down, wraps all the way back around to yellow. He's in the walls.
It's unbelievable. And that's a round that starts with Redux hitting an opener like that.
Ooh. We like that. I think the wall bang assisted a little bit by the Viper Orb, bringing the HP down. But look at that, I mean, just sick going for the fast swing after the jump peak, knowing the clock down. But here we go, Redux knives out, zipping down into 2, but can't find that first. Now without mid-control, without a return fire. Sentinel's gonna be wanting for some control in this round.
A change in Zelsis' setup. This time playing a little bit more aggressive on yellow.
What's the util pattern for YFP? No dart right now, but they have a drone. And they've gotten Physic pretty far forward. Could get a drone that spots all of back yellow. Oh, and they have a dart in 3 seconds. I think that's what they're waiting for.
A dart, a dizzy, a leer, so many tools.
There we go.
Zelsis does get scanned, and the swing is great from Jake. 5v3 post plant. And Jake just keeps it going. 20-5 across 11 rounds for the attacking Viper player.
Yeah, what was this guy drinking between maps 2 and 3? Yeah?
Someone in the crowd's right.
I trust that guy too, because I've seen him stand up and cheer for every single time YFP's been winning around. He knows the YFP tech. He knows what's up.
8-3 already.
Someone get John QT a can.
Looks like these weapons might still be in trouble. 3 seconds. Swings through. And they'll make it. That's something for Sentinels at least.
I really wish I was in on the inside joke. Tarek's losing his mind over 2 feet down from us.
Not for you to know.
For insiders only.
Not a soul on Sentinels positive this game.
Jake is 4-1 in KD.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
He's almost killing all of Sentinels every time he dies.
He'll get there. Redux on this angle we have seen many a time before. But second, the one to get the opener in this round, Redux. A connection as well. Will he escape? Indeed. And a shot! How the hell does he pull that off?
thought his movement was good on the Omen. Even better on the Jet.
I mean, it's a 360. The guy thinks he's phasing up on Icebox. Okay.
He's having fun with it, that's for sure. Sentinels now in a 4-on-1, looking to mirror map 2 that went their way.
Jake's down. Redux puts the pin in the half. It's the same exact scenario as last map. Sentinels find themselves down 4-8. Their backs against the wall to try and make their way into the finals. We'll see who gets that final slot when we return. For the second time, 2 maps in a row, Sentinels find themselves down 8-4 at the half, with elimination on the line. Last time it was a pistol round win into a bonus conversion to mount the comeback and take us to Icebox. And they might just have to do it again.
I think it's going to be necessary. We'll see. For either of these teams, whoever comes out on top, it's a quick break and then the finals, a best of 3 coming up right after this against Cloud9. For YFP, a team that hard qualified to this event, didn't get invited. They had to do it the old-fashioned way. Now they've dropped just 2 maps over the course of that qual and today. To go up against C9 for a chance to go to Berlin would be nuts.
And after a tough run in challengers earlier this year, to make your mark by beating Sentinels would be huge. They still have to finish the task. A walk down mid as Sentinels will walk into this A site. Only contested by 2.
I mean, it is selling the fake. He just got all 5 players onto the site. Penny's still hanging out in mid. Those 2 Sen players need a way to escape, but actually the first one gets out. We'll see if Penny can take his time against this second one. Not actually risking the fight, so it's full 5-on-5 post plant now.
And that under 2 bangle is being watched.
Redux is going forward. All the way back into
That
spawn.
is clean.
Huge. And he wants a little bit more. Gets the peak, regroups back with his team. And now they can just play for main easily.
YFP's working on the possibility of a flank even. They're just worried about someone re-wrapping. Instead, they'll just fight into the site together.
No flashes.
Time's dwindling. 1 molly already used. Physics dart combined with the dizzy. They'll make their way back yellow, but Curry's the one to open this round, and it's second again. Who else but him on a pistol round? As Sentinels want to repeat history.
I think Zekin's combined shock dart and classic kills this game.
It's got to be more than his rifles.
His actual Vandal kills.
Yes.
Like he's been doing some nasty things with those. It is wild.
Which, by the way, This is the first time he has played Sova in an official since he was on XSET.
Checks out.
And
Yeah.
even that was earlier on XSET. Chamber meta when Cryo was dominating there. It has been a while for this guy.
YFP going on a journey through B main here with all 4 players. I think they've been rung around a bit here. Sentinels completely dodging that, and I think audio is secured. Yeah, Zelsis hears everything going down in B main, so he's going to turn around and try to clip up as many as he can here with the Ghost. 1.
That's done.
2. 3. Stolen for the 4th, but you know what? He would have gotten it. I believe it. Yeah, sorry, your classic is not seconds. Don't try.
Not quite the same caliber. So Sen win the pistol, a clean conversion on the second. Now the question of converting that bonus and really building some momentum on this defensive side. Or that attacking side, rather.
Right. I mean, that's the difference, right? Back on Lotus, it was their defense that was lights out. The attack, a little bit shakier today. I think that's fair to say.
Placing swarm grenade.
Tell you what, Jake is going to do everything in his power to be involved in as many fights as possible. He's been having a stellar performance. Guess is wrong this time around, though. Another YFP 4-stack on the A side, just 1 over towards B. Passive Killjoy setup. Actually about as passive as you can get. It's even the loud turret ripped off that peeks just into kitchen. Gives very little information into mid, as a matter of fact.
But the rotates are here in time, so there's still a chance to deny the plant. Sen, of course, don't have that Gecko, so it is a little bit riskier to commit a plant on B.
It does look like Sentinels have gotten more and more aware of this hard lean tendency from YFP. They've sped up a lot in their attacking sides this time. Actually taking that pause for just a moment, waiting for that peek under tube. Zelsis gets some damage, but can't quite find the player.
They can't just plant. They're worried about the utility, so they have to fight forward, and Redux dies for it. B-Dog from up top takes down another 2, and the plan falls apart for Sentinels. 30 seconds, the player's severed.
Ouch.
And Thief just picking them apart. Did B-Dog want a knife?
Having fun with it is all I can say. I mean, that's crazy because it looked like to me, I didn't even see a flash come through that Viper wall. I think they just heard Redux pushing back into spawn, and multiple players just decided, hey, we're gonna push through this wall, and they got every single kill they looked for.
Yeah.
They still had 2 Rainaliers at the end of it all. In the first 3 rounds now, Jake has been
The
fault
scoreboard,
3
Jake,
times.
20 and 8.
Yeah, but that's the thing, at the half, he was 20 and 5.
Yeah.
Hasn't been able to find them just yet.
It's his first chance with a rifle here, where they might just be going towards his sight. As it's pressure on A, but a slower round for Sentinels.
Just trying to get a read on the stack, but
Reina moment.
yeah, a little
Just
bit.
walk up and take your fight. That's what he's allowed.
Penny did not get the heal off of that one. Chose to dismiss away instead. Just 2 body shots and down. Isn't the most fearsome thing, but hey, 5v4 is good. It's a little bit better if you can get this KO ult out early.
Sentinels again find the gap, avoid the stack.
Fake, and plant, and then the flash on through. Junk UT leading from the front. Well, the trade comes in from Redux. He's gonna try to pick up his IGL, but it's too greedy, man. You can't be doing that. And now, as a matter of fact, YFP, they're coming back out into the field of play. The spike too far forward. Jake here finds his first of the half, and more come down. That's YFP up to double digits.
3 rounds away from the final for the team that made it here through the open qualifier. And for the second time this game, Kaplan will take a timeout. I think this is really the swing round as to whether a comeback is possible for Sentinels.
I mean, they've got to be aware of how heavy these leans have been. That time, they fought through, and it looked okay. I think, realistically, John probably should have gotten that first kill. Sure. But even after he goes down, I think it was just a decision-making error, going for that res, thinking, hey, there was only one person backside, no one swung to trade, I've got the timing window. And it was the wrong read. That's all right, but it did ultimately cook them out of the round. I think everything else they did was good. I think the decision to fight into Snowman was also nice there, going for the fake tap into the KO flash, but wasn't quite as cohesive, I think, as maybe some of the other fight forwards have been. I mean, look, it's the John on the first KO map, it's Redux on the Jet. Not the tried and true duo, necessarily, that we've seen so much more.
And I think we really saw the value out of that, in especially the first map of this series. Zelsis and Second so good together as that duelist initiator duo.
Exactly.
It takes time to build that up. And there's not a lot of time left for Redux to do it, at least in this tournament.
I have to get a peek at the money here too, because this could be a bit problematic for Sentinels. The risk of running down into an 11th round, and yeah, it is a hero for Redux and upgraded pistols for everyone. But they're going into, I mean, this is a full-on trap setup for YFP in B. Off
Penny
of
in the
Penny's
corner.
contact, we've got Dizzy's, but he goes down. Redux is the hero that Sentinels need. He finds the first and is looking for another. Dashes back into yellow. Another out from Zekin. And from back on yellow. B-Dog, 1, 2, counting them up. YFP are not shut down yet.
2 players. That's all it took for YFP to decimate the push from Sentinels.
But that's the thing, right? Sentinels, they heat up quick, but it's into the strong side of YFP. There's 2 more where they came from. Playing a nice little 1-2 angle from up top site, back yellow. Really frustrating to get through, especially on the reduced buy. That said, there's not a lot of time to take a breather and think about what could be the next to last round.
Penny spots Celsius on the cross and dodges out on the Dizzy. He'll have to retreat. B-Dog under a lot of pressure, but again, succeeding in every position. That's a free opener. And the drone, I don't think, clears onto Penny. No, last second they spot him. But he's not budging.
Sentinels just can't fight for that space. They've got a lockdown. Best chance is get over into A. We'll see, though. Maybe they hold off on that lockdown and try to just get the plant, use it in post, anticipating this is the weak side.
Zelsis will commit the lockdown, but there are 2 Killjoy mollies to try and stall this plant. A Viper molly as well, and reinforcements on the way.
Tons of stall, yeah.
But they're already used. But that plant is not down.
Ooh.
And YFP are on their way back into the site.
Curry dropped half health to get that plant to make sure he had time to pop the ult.
Thrash committed. Straight into the pit it goes. Curry, can he dodge this one?
Oh,
He
no.
can, but Second cannot. That's 1 for 1. And now as the pit falls, Sentinels come out on top of it. Curry still up and alive in this position. And a tough player to unentrench tap. He calls their bluff, but B-Dog was ready. And now it's down to a 1v1. Zelsis spots the second. Penny's low on HP. He needs a shot clean, and he cannot do it. Zelsis and Curry combine to save the round for Sentinels.
Sentinels were desperate for that clutch there. And Zelsis is the man to deliver. Big difference between 6 rounds away and map point. And 4 rounds and a little bit extra breathing room. I think he ducked underneath that bullet too. That was coming straight at his brain.
Get out of my way!
But YFP have lockdown, Hunter's Fury, big tools to shut this one down.
He's so quick out of it. Sentinels using their Viper Wall on the A hit itself. It is all 5 coming in here with the Hunter's Fury.
Jake is on the site, and he's tucked in an off angle. Penny as well. They have no fear around this utility. Maybe they should, though. Jake wounded, shock darts raining in, a molly at his feet. He escapes. Only 4 health left, and Sentinels run back.
They eat up the lockdown. Mission accomplished. It only took them 25 seconds to do that. Now that B site is weak. As they make a ton of noise running back over there, they've left Zelsis, the hero in round 18. Now options to open it up, but they lose Zekin out of nowhere.
Zelsis hears the Viper close, and he wins that fight. Now
What is
Abe
going
maybe
on?
open. His B-Dog on the other side runs back in.
That's the spike! They're all split up. Sentinel's trying to run a fake, but it gets caught out too early with the forward fighting. B-Dog still holding his ground. And Physic is there to support as well. Only 35 seconds remain.
Curry and Zelsis walk their way into main. They'll recover the spike, but with 25 seconds, they're committed, and a flank is coming.
He's pinching in now, B-Dog. Waiting, sees one, gets it. Oh my. Zelsis, can he do it again? 15 seconds. A player coming in on his right. 2 more in front of him, and a spike yet to be planted. The fake tap for the first one. He has to push, he has to go for it, but there's just no time. Here comes Thief, and that's the round. YFP are 1 away from the final.
The proactivity from YFP in that round is excellent. Walking back into A. Thief committing to the flank. They consumed every piece of space given to them by Sentinels.
I mean, that's gorgeous. Catches them on the timing. Gets to... The buy's bad, Mimi.
2 Vandals to speak of. On Redux and Zekin.
Sentinels might need a miracle. Who's going to be the guy to step up? B-Dog's got Thrash, and they send the ulti. Trying to get one, finds a tag, as a matter of fact. And the second gets that ult kill, that might be the hero Sentinels need.
YFP still have players on the site. B-Dog! That was mid-air onto Redux, and Penny's gotten another. B-Dog down, though. A chance left for Sentinels. 1 for 1.
Spike planted.
It's down to Thief.
It's another flank.
The man of the hour, but they know they're ready for him on this flank, and Zekin gets away with his life. Reposition. Running into the back of the site. Thief will walk his way across the rope. When does he strike? A silent drop down. He could be anywhere, but Sen are playing together, and the alarm bot gets the info.
The Boombot's a paid actor. I don't want to hear about it. That's crazy.
The savior of Sentinels is a robot.
Makes sense. It just makes sense.
And they stay alive for another round yet.
Wow. Now it's YFP on just 3 rifles. Not out of reach yet for Sen.
If Sen can win this round without using ultimates, they'll have lockdown into the next.
It's just a brawl for A main every round. And Sentinels won it because of Zekin's ulti. Now they've got to do it. Typical hard work. Ignoring now that strong side. They saw Util on that side of the map. Now they know that B side, as I've said many times, very likely weak. And the lockdown has been secured. That is a round winner in a post plant, but they use it to secure the site.
So a plant all but guaranteed. But the post plant's still a danger. B-Dog has the Thrash if he wants to invest it.
Spike planted.
Oh.
That's a lot of damage onto John. But again, he'll escape.
Most of the damage was from the Viper. And there's going to be a reflank from Curry's, as a matter of fact. Maybe a double reflank?
All 5 players from YFP group. Thrash in. They're blind. Redux with 3. As the Thrash takes him out of the round, he has gotten his. No world where B-Dog can win the 1v5. Sentinels survive another.
You know, you said Sentinels needed a robot to be the hero and win the game. His name is Redux, Mimi.
He looks like a machine.
Unreal. I mean, look at, like, he's blinded, getting to, and gets the tag from the Sova Dart. That is critical to help him secure the 3rd. And there's a Thrash coming in his back the whole time. What is that?
Another buy for YFP.
Poison orb emitting.
Sentinels can't stop now. 3 more needed.
Change up for YFP. Dart into mid. They'll walk up off of it. That's the turret broken.
Not going to hang out. Falling back instead. Too fearful. The KO reclear.
Physics sees nothing on that drone.
Zip.
Sen can walk up behind it.
YFP leaning heavy into B and into mid. Penny actually fell back to that window spot, so they know there's no lurk coming in through mid, as a matter of fact. And with those positions, they can very quickly rotate either A or B. The second Sentinels send utility over, Penny's going to be over to that A site.
Viper's pit for Jake. Spam nearly gets him. He's tagged by the dart, and somehow he lives. Redux up and over the top. Will finally convert that kill with the help of Zelstis to a post plant and a man up.
Alarm bot down on the spike, a molly as well. Good util.
YFP are almost out of money. Losing this round would make that comeback so much more possible for Sentinels, but Physic has a good start. One kill found. Trade is there from Johnny, hops up, but Penny takes him down. Now the next layer, darts going in, but it's not planted for them. Second has to fall away. Curry needs to find these shots. He'll connect both. But Physic has the spike on lock. Half HP, 30 to work with. And second to try and clutch things up. There's just no time. Sentinels have done enough. 2 more rounds from overtime.
It is tight, it is scrappy. It is down to the last second every time. But Sentinels have started to string these rounds together. The rumble of that crowd getting louder and louder round by round as they see it coming for Sen. But the work can't stop now.
Clear to engage. Weapons hot.
YFP have got nothing.
A Guardian, the best weapon to speak of. Redux will dash in, a killjoy close, the blind is good. And that opens up the round for Sentinels. It's clean. 2 men left, and a post plant for Sen.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
YFP are already thinking about round 24. Sentinels are already thinking about overtime. But what I'm wondering, Mimi, is where is Jake? 20 kills in the first 12 rounds. In the next 11, only found those 8. He was slaughtering Sentinels. He might be what's necessary for them to get across the finish line.
It seems like they need a hero.
Sorry, it was only 6 in the last 11.
It has been a complete repeat of map number 2, an 8-4 half. YFP on the verge of winning. And Sentinel's about to rip it away again. Round 24, overtime or die for the favorite squad.
Sentinel saw 2 with that knife. They know this is the stack, and they're comfortable hanging out around here. A late wall placed by Jake. Do Sentinels think that YFP have fallen out of this space? They're usually playing more up. The drone sees Penny. That tells them all they need to know. They are on the prowl.
A player top site, B-Dog. He's been the man of this second half, and somehow John gets the kill. A flash, a drop into backside. The coronation is perfection for Sentinels. 3v5 in the post. A Viper's pit for Curry, and the dart good for the spam. Physic though, still a chance. He's found 2.
John QT is wrapping all the way back around through mid on 1 HP. He is the nail in the YFP coffin.
But they don't know yet. Tap for Thief, Redux takes him down. And they have done it! Sentinels take map number 3 to overtime. And Seattle stands up. After being down 8-4 at the half in back-to-back maps, Sentinels are 2 rounds away from the finals.
Unbelievable. John's KO is crazy. His flashes are getting insane value. So often he's second entry. That round, he's primary entry, still finding that first kill on top site. Falling into flanks in the late round, a completely different style for him. But he has showed up when it matters in these late rounds.
Redux with an overtime operator.
Didn't find much value in the first half. He's had some time to get that second wind.
He's hungry for it. But there's no one to receive. Instead, YFP turn their sights towards B.
YFP ran a fair amount of early control over one side, freeze, and then rehits later into the round. So far, following a similar pattern, going for the orb. Physic can manage that one in a post plan to be huge.
Sentinels just drowned all the way through A.
What?
That's a lot of information.
Celsius might feel it.
The hit's coming. He has utility to protect, but he's so damn blind, overwhelmed by Penny. That's the opener. Jake will fall away from the lurk as Sentinels has to try and make this retake happen.
And look at mid. Jake is there, still waiting, still waiting. Sentinels going heavy back into Snowman, while Curry's just kind of up in the front. He's a front man for the team, dealing with everything, pushing into the backside, supported by Util. That's one! Curry, still waiting, still looking, and as the spam comes in, Sentinels are back in this round.
Here comes the flank, though. Jake has worked all the way around to try and end this round. 1 for 1. Jake taken down. How did Zekin know? How could he possibly be ready for that? It's unfathomable.
When it's high pressure, when it's OT, the sixth sense is unlocked for Zekin. Completely aware. That was not an easy round. I mean, Celsius got overwhelmed with Util.
Sentinels have won 6 rounds in a row. 6 rounds against match point. And now it's just one more round to close the deal.
Redux is up and up fast. Top tube. May leave him in mid, but the choice is to make a ton of noise and regroup with the team. It's actually just Penny really left here on the high angle. YFP are trusting a lot in him to find this.
Or he does, sorry.
Bit of a spectator bug. Everyone's got full armor right now. And Penny's still winning. It's a good flash, though. And the swings through the wall are perfectly
Redux
timed.
is swinging forward. Wanted that duel against B-Dog. Doesn't get his chance. Flashes up. Wingman going in already.
YFP want to go, go, go.
It's a stalemate on the site. Who opens this round? Curry down. That's Thief diving in. YFP want to prolong this one. 3 kills. Second replies, though. The man of overtime steps up again and finds his team in a 2v2. Penny dead. 1 man left. Is B-Dog the salvation YFP needed? Or can Zekin end it here? A jiggle, a swing, the shooting! Sentinels get the job done! Grand final secured with back-to-back comebacks. And not a soul is sitting in this crowd.
Zekin knows. Zekin's playing with the crowd. I mean, that was unreal. It hits OT. Sentinels are put in back-to-back losing rounds. And it is Zekin and it is John in those moments clutching it through to win. 2 of the mainstays.
No matter the teammates around them, that duo can get it done. And it is a heartbreaker for YFP.
Absolutely.
8 chances to win slip away. But a hell of a series from them.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they fought hard just to qualify here. They played 3 intensely close games. The third being the most ridiculous of those 3.